Hey, bonjour. Alors, ce foutu Sherlock Holmes. Alors déjà, on m'a TP, je ne sais où. Je suis où là? D'accord, à Silverton. Le pont Victoria est juste là. Alors déjà, on va remettre Sherlock dans un état... Merde. Voilà. Ça. Petite barbe de 3 jours. Non. Voilà, beaucoup mieux. Du coup... Ah oui, donc j'en étais à la scène à reconstituer. Et donc je me suis renseigné, en fait le truc de John se fait après avoir reconstitué la scène. Allez. It's John time. Alors. Donc là, quelqu'un avait été traîné. Non, là ils avaient dit que quelqu'un avait été traîné. C'est quoi la différence? Ouais. Alors là c'est ça, parce qu'il y a son collier là qui se... dans son bracelet qui se détache. Ouais. Pour expliquer les boîtes. Falcon, kick! Et voir la trace de main. Peut-être plus comme ça. Alors on va essayer de valider ça.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Ah, c'était ça, putain, j'avais juste vu un truc.
She resisted, but he dragged her by force. One of the refugees stood in his way, armed with a stick, yet he could do nothing against a cutthroat with a blade. The man didn't anticipate that the other refugees would intervene and stand against him. In the confusion, the woman managed to break free. The thug took fright and fled. He was stopped by the falling crates, he stumbled and fell, piercing his chest with his own blade. However, the wound didn't cause instant death. He managed to stand, but still bleeding, he lost his balance on the bridge and fell. Before all of this, the man had freely entered the camp through the main entrance. The police admitted him after they had a short smoke together.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword. In our man's case, it's the same sword.
Donc ce con s'est tué tout seul en fait.
You still here?
Encore là.
Inspector, I believe I can aid your investigation. I know who the dead man is and what really happened.
You do? Well, good for you. But I'm afraid I'm not the one you need to share your findings with. Speak to Mr. Harlow here. He's the one responsible for settling things in the camp.
You don't even care to listen?
Oh, I do care. And maybe even more than I need to. But I'm only here today to lock the place up, question witnesses, and file the facts. It's sad, but coming up with conclusions is not among my tasks here. You fellows at City Hall do that. Anyway, speak to the supervisor. I'll just stand by and listen to what you have to say.
Il est à 2 cm, il peut pas écouter.
Mr. Harlow, your refugees didn't murder anyone.
What? Pray tell me what you've learned.
All right, listen carefully. This might solve one problem for you, but will create a few more.
Oh, well, that's a great start.
The man came to the camp intending to kidnap one of your refugees, a woman. What he didn't expect was that the refugees would stand up to protect the woman. A brawl had broken out. In the chaos of it, the man stumbled over those crates and fell on his own blade.
How do you know he fell on his own blade?
The wound in his chest was inflicted from an unusual angle. It was not an offensive stab, shall we say. The refugees didn't touch him. And judging by the blood at the scene, the intruder managed to raise himself but was unable to walk very far. He ultimately fell into the canal.
But how did he sneak into the camp? Why didn't the police see him?
And this is where your new problems emerge, Mr. Harlow.
What do you mean?
You're not a dull-witted man. You know what I mean. There is no feasible way to get into the camp without the police guards knowing of it.
The pile of mess I had to sort out has just become bigger, but somehow that doesn't surprise me. Anyway, I thank you for your help, Mr. Holmes. I'll take it from here. Meanwhile, I'll make sure the police aren't detaining the refugees any longer. You can go back in and look for your witness.
You think one small clock can make any difference in this place?
Who knows, John? Just one ill-fitting cog could make the whole machine crumble.
Ok, alors, donc ça c'est fait. Oula. Ah oui, donc je peux redemander pour le croquis. Et que je demande pour ça. Alors, on va demander le truc de John. Ah oui, du coup les réfugiés sont... Je peux maintenant leur parler. Messieurs, bonjour.
Are you able to help me?
They often take us from the camps to work. Most don't mind, though. It's the only way we get a glimpse of freedom.
Les réfugiés des individus suspects viennent régulièrement au camp et prennent avec eux plusieurs de ses occupants afin de les employer à diverses tâches. Le travail est souvent laborieux, mais les réfugiés reçoivent de l'argent et de la nourriture en échange. C'est au cours d'une de ces missions que le viol de la victime aura eu lieu. L'incident a depuis incité les réfugiés à refuser l'emploi des femmes pour ces tâches.
So there's a smuggling ring in the camp. This wasn't the first time that someone freely entered the camp to take a refugee out.
At least it was certainly his last time. My gut tells me that we'll learn more about this ring when we find out where the thug came from.
Cool, allez, ça c'est fait. Alors ensuite... Madame.
Can I ask you a question?
Sorry. We don't see much here.
You're the one who tended to our man's wounds. I thank you greatly. The police didn't allow us to help him.
The police will leave you alone now. I've proven to them that the man who came into the camp died due to his own foolishness.
Thank you for standing up for us. But nobody would help us without a reason. You're here because you want something.
Yes, I do. I need to speak with the girl drawn here.
The dead man came for her too. He wanted to take the girl away, but we won't allow her to be hurt again. What do you want from Nayla?
Nayla. She was hurt some time ago. I'm here to find the people who did this and bring them to justice. And to find them, I need Nayla's help. Will you let me speak to her?
Justice. There's no justice on this land. But you helped us, so maybe your words are not empty. You can speak to Nayla, if she wants it. But I will be watching you.
Hello, Naylor. My name is Sherlock. I know someone hurt you. I am here to help. I'm trying to find the people involved and bring them to justice. Please. There is a photograph, and I'm sorry, it is terrible, but I simply must ask. Where did this happen? What can you tell me about these people? Christ, Sherlock. Naylor, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at this.
You come here for me, but you are rude and cruel and condescending. A cross. The man had this cross. Now go away. Leave us be. I do not need another white man's help.
Oh,
Bon.
glad that wasn't me.
Not my best work, John. By a long shot. Naylor doesn't want us meddling. I'm starting to wonder what this all achieves.
But she helped you anyway. Now we know that maniac's face and the cross he wore, we can still catch him.
Alors, cet homme n'est pas venu par hasard et représente un rouage crucial dans la machine pour que cette affaire et ce tatouage pourraient m'aider à le faire tourner. Alors, le panneau mental. Voyou est venu au camp dans l'intention d'enlever une femme, il aurait pu la tuer mais ce n'était pas son but. Un homme de main est non juste un voleur, plus qu'un vulgaire voleur, c'est aussi un ravisseur, un homme de main qui s'occupe de diverses basses besognes. Le scélérat est un homme haut placé, ses équipements sont souvent octroyés aux fonctionnaires de haut rang. Scélérat de photographie pour en être un. Tatouage. Ok. Alors pour ça, il va falloir que je me renseigne. Je peux aller direct à la mer. Ah non, je crois que je dois sortir. Tac 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 tac. Ah merde, je peux toujours pas utiliser là. Peut-être à l'hôtel de ville. Hôtel de ville. Jut. C'est pas grave. Alors, tac 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 tac. Période, sujet, registre. Représentant officiel. Passion. Ah non, alors attends. Non. Bien ça, hein, le... Attends, le... L'homme qui a été retrouvé mort porte un tatouage particulier sur son cou, lequel consiste de lignes parallèles surplombées par un point. Peut-être à la police du coup. Là. Non, c'est les archives. Ouais, c'est pas là, non, non c'est pas là. Parce que là, ils me mettent pas le... À l'hôtel de ville, ils m'ont mis l'icône, mais pas là. C'est au Chronicle, on va voir. Représentant officiel. Vieille ville peut-être. Non. C'est ça qui m'énerve entre les trois trucs, c'est trouver exactement. John il fait la gueule. Et à l'hôtel de ville, on est d'accord, ça me mettait l'icône. Donc je raconte de la merde. Ouais, donc je pense que c'est ici. Alors, représentant officiel, je suis sûr. Gouvernement britannique. Passion. Ah, c'était ça. Thomas Norton, né à Londres en 1840, diplômé de l'université d'Oxford en 64, est entré en fonction en tant que secrétaire au bureau de l'intérieur en 69, accepté une position d'officier des armées en Inde en 75 et veut délivrer la médaille de l'ordre du bain de la reine en personne en 77. L'ordre du bain, ok. A été nommé au poste d'envoyé britannique au coordonnateur et reçu son premier cabinet à l'hôtel de ville en 78. Ok. Alors, je peux peut-être parler à La dame qui est à l'entrée, là, elle est où?
Have you found anything helpful? Have you found anything helpful?
Are you able to help me?
There is no amount of money that would make me talk.
Et...
Can I ask you a question?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
Oh, I am bored. Call me when you find the answer.
Are you able to help me?
I'd tell you if I knew, but unfortunately, I don't.
Genre toi, tu peux pas m'aider?
Have you found anything helpful?
Excuse me, just one question.
Apologies, sir, but I've never heard of it.
Time to check your who, what, and what, Sherry. Who are you asking? About what, and dressed as what?
Oula. Ouais. Là, je peux peut-être demander au flic là-bas. Bon. Ah, ils sont encore là?
I owe you a lot, Mr. Holmes.
You still here?
The intruder has a most peculiar tattoo on his neck, 2 lines and a point. Do you know anything about it?
You really want to know, kid? Why? You want to play a policeman or something?
I'm sure you have it in your records, so it won't hurt if I have it in mine.
In my records, it's just a tattoo, as it should be in yours. Ah, to hell with you. Suit yourself as to what you're going to do with it. Off the record, though, such tattoos are often connected to a man named Mr. Niccolo Bernadotti.
Bernadotti, you say?
A respectable businessman in Scaladio. His company imports goods and wines, and smuggles everything that can be smuggled between the colonies and the mainland. His people can be identified by an obscure tattoo, just like the one over there our friend has. But these are all merely rumors, you see. If Mr. Bernadotti was a criminal, he'd be in prison now.
Bien sûr.
Or hanged, right?
Alors...
You're disturbing a hornet's nest here, son. You're disturbing a hornet's nest here, son.
Rien sur le palais mental. Ok, donc là, sur le camp, j'ai tout vu. Bernadotti est un homme d'affaires de Scaniado. Ok, bon, on peut avancer là-dessus. Déjà, si je peux... Hop là, on met ça. Alors, est-ce que je peux voir... l'hôtel de ville? Allez. Alors... Un homme d'affaires... C'est une entreprise, je pense. Occupation... Ascaliado. Entreprise fondée en 1973 par Niccolo Bernadotti. Siège social sud-est de Scaliado sur Bazar Road, près de l'intersection avec Roman Road. Bernadotti Compagnie achemine des marchandises entre les colonies britanniques d'Afrique et le reste du Royaume-Uni, coordonnées incluses. Les produits importés comprennent des vivres, du vin, du café, des articles de tous les jours et bien plus encore. Le fondateur de l'entreprise est M. Niccolo Bernadotti, né en Sicile dans le Royaume d'Italie. Bernadotti a déménagé à Londres à l'âge de 39 ans pour y exercer son activité. Plus tard dans la même année, il a délocalisé son siège en Cordona afin de, selon ses propres dires, se rapprocher des colonies dans lesquelles il a investi. Depuis son arrivée sur le sol cordonnais en 1973, M. Bernadotti est devenu un mécène réputé dans des arts ainsi qu'un contributeur important au bien-être social de l'île. Parmi ses apports récents, on compte en outre l'achat de nouveaux matériels pour le poste de police et assistance portée au gouverneur dans le cadre du transport d'un aérostat baptisé Led Zeppelin depuis l'Allemagne. Ok. Alors, sud-est de Scaladio, Bazar Road et Roman Road. Ça doit être là. Et c'est pas très loin, donc on va y aller à pied. Bazar Road et Roman Road, donc ça serait par ici. Église Saint-Pierre. Là c'est une pharmacie, on peut pas y rentrer. Je vais faire toutes les portes. Hein. Non attends, ça se trouve je suis en train de m'éloigner là. Ah oui, je suis en train de m'éloigner. C'est bien. Et c'est sur Bazar Road, près de l'intersection avec... C'est peut-être plus par là. Voilà non plus. Ah, bah putain, c'est pas assez marqué en gros.
It seems they're not expecting guests.
I won't wait for an invitation, John.
Oh.
These workers don't look like your average Cordona folk.
They're refugees from the camp. Are you able to help me?
Oh, I'm sorry, but that's beyond my knowledge.
That's our way in, Sherry.
Hey, yo. This is private property. You lost something.
Ça c'est trop direct, ça il va dire ouais super, tant mieux. Quoique tout à l'heure c'était la bonne réponse.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm investigating a robbery, and Mr. Bernadotte may be just the man to help me with...
You're a copper?
I have nothing to do with the police.
Mr. Bernadotte isn't seeing anyone. You have 3 seconds to walk away or you'll never walk again. Capito?
It's in Mr. Bernadotte's best interest to...
1...
Listen, the man Bernadotte sent to...
So...
Oh!
I did try to resolve this peacefully.
La violence. Ah merde, le gameplay de combat, putain j'ai déjà oublié comment ça marchait.
Take a rest, my friend.
C'est quoi? Ah oui, c'est B, voilà, ok.
I'm coming for you.
Too simple.
The snuff's ready.
May I? Don't cry.
C'est Baf qui l'a remis.
Don't bother moving.
Give him the pepper snuff.
I'm coming for you.
No more crime for you.
The snuff's ready. You can overcome the brute now.
Too simple.
Yo.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Ah il est là.
Take a rest, my
The snuff's ready.
Trop fort. Point faible trop fort. 10 balles.
You've disappointed me so much, Sherlock.
Bah. Alors. Trouvons des preuves.
Sherry, look. This seems familiar.
An amazing piece of culture. I imagine many collectors and museums would be interested in having it.
Ah. Monsieur, on reparlera après.
A Dogon statue from West Africa. century old at least. Masks, traditional for the Chokwe people of Central Africa. VH Grindley Flow Blue tableware. This is what lies behind the facade of Bernadotte Company Limited. Let's see what's hidden there.
Uh-huh.
Vogel's stolen painting. Isn't it curious how it developed into a much more interesting case?
No, sir. Don't hurt me.
It's all right. I won't harm you.
Like you didn't harm the folks on the way here?
Are you able to help me?
Sorry, we don't see much here.
Are you able to help me?
Sorry,
Ok.
we
Alors.
don't see much here.
Oh, I am bored. Call me when you find the art.
Don't come any closer. One step and I'll shred you to pieces.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Righto. Yes. Yep. Well, excuse me, sir. I think I hear... I've got to... It's better I leave.
Whoa. Oh, wow. That was as if somebody put my words in your mouth.
Trouillard.
This is it. This is where all the magic happens.
The Bernadotte Company Limited trade network reaches the most distant colonies of the Great Empire.
It must be very convenient for a man like Bernadotte.
Please don't shoot me. I have a family.
Alors parle. Et...
Spare me.
So, you've cut through all the guards just to talk to me. Then come here, and we shall talk.
Sherry, don't you think this office suits me?
Alors attends, on va parler à ce con. Ah.
I suppose it's Mr. Bernadotte with our fine governor. 1875. Was taken a few years back. John, how many people in Cordona have a photograph with the governor, do you think?
You definitely don't have one.
Spare me.
Ok, donc là je pense que c'est assorti. Alors, toi. On cause.
Whenever you're ready. I'd hate to intrude.
Différent des autres parce que c'est le boss. N'a pas peur du sale boulot. Peut me dégommer quand ça le chante. A eu la pelage. La pelagre. Ils disaient là. La pelagre. Alors, trouble nutritionnel causé par une carence en niacine, vitamine B3, observé en Asie ou en Afrique. D'accord. Je connaissais pas du tout ce mot. Alors, Niccolo Bernadotti est un impitoyable chef de gang qui est prêt à se salir les mains sans hésiter dans le but de démontrer l'étendue de son pouvoir. Ayant travaillé dur tout au long de sa jeunesse, Bernadotti a développé une haine profonde du monde qui l'entoure. Il attend le danger à chaque tournant et le crée volontiers lui-même. Né dans la pauvreté, il a dû travailler dans les champs dès le plus jeune âge. Il a pour cette raison contracté la pelagre, maladie dont on observe encore les effets sur sa peau. Il refuse toutefois de dissimuler ses séquelles sous ses habits raffinés, préférant s'en servir pour ne jamais oublier ses propres origines et celles de ses ambitions. Bernadotti et ses hommes sont marqués de tatouages différents qui se rejoignent néanmoins dans leur style. Ces tatouages remplissent sans doute le rôle d'un code représentant les divers rangs qui constituent la hiérarchie, organisation criminelle régie par le secret et la discipline. Impitoyable chef de gang doublé d'un homme d'affaires retors, il dégage un air de confiance et de menace. Il anticipe le moindre danger en gardant toujours son arme à portée de main, mais qu'il la laisse dans son étui. Issu de la classe ouvrière, né dans la pauvreté, il a dû travailler dans les champs dès le plus jeune âge. Les heures passées à s'épuiser sur le soleil et à la malnutrition ont fait de lui une proie idéale pour la pelagre. Parvenu à vaincre l'affliction, les effets de ces derniers sont encore visibles sur sa peau. Mène un train de vie de puissant, projette une image et une allure sombre. J'aurais peut-être plus dit cerveau calculateur, moi. Allez, je pars là-dessus.
Niccolo Bernadotti, I presume? The name is Sherlock Holmes, and I'm afraid I bring bad tidings.
Is that so?
The man you sent to the refugee camp failed in his task. He impaled himself on his own blade. Clumsy and chaotic end.
For a man who just broke onto my property, you are more businessman than brute. You have my attention, Mr. Holmes. Do not waste it.
Mr. Bernadotti, do you know the name Boniface Mercurio?
I do not.
Mercurio was a local artist. Recently, a man broke into his apartment, ransacked the place, and killed him. The thief was looking for something.
You are testing my patience, boy.
In a moment, the connection will reveal itself. As I said, your man was found dead in the refugee camp. He was there to kidnap a woman, but the other refugees intervened to try and save her. The ensuing scuffle resulted in the man's accidental suicide. He sported the same tattoo as your men in this building. In fact, it also bears a resemblance to the one on your neck. Care to explain what business your man had with this woman?
You have no idea what you are talking about. I can assure you this was no kidnapping. The refugees in the camp are on edge. What happened there is a tragic accident, one I am not responsible for.
For what reason was your man there if not to abduct her?
Why would I answer? You are yet to justify your presence in the slightest.
I was hired, privately, to investigate the recent theft of a painting from an art gallery. My investigation led me to a man from your organization, and thus, to you, Mr. Bernadotti.
That is quite a stretch. Why would I need to steal a painting when I could buy anyone I wanted?
Interestingly enough, I spotted the stolen painting in your storeroom.
I buy and sell a lot of things, Mr. Holmes. Unfortunately, if this is true, it is not the first time I have been sold stolen merchandise. I presume you were hired by the owner of the gallery. Tell them to contact me, and we'll sort out the situation. So, this painting is why you broke into my office. So many words, so little action. When you barged into my office, Mr. Holmes, I got the impression you wanted to talk business. Now I see you had come just to talk. Tell me exactly what you want, or get out.
It was necessary groundwork for what comes next. I have enough evidence to conclude that the gallery thief, the artist's killer, and the dead man in the camp are all the same person.
Your time is almost up, Mr. Holmes.
Before you draw your gun, there is one final detail I am yet to mention. The young woman your man was tasked to collect from the refugee camp had been defiled at a perverse masquerade party. That violation was captured in a photograph by Boniface Mercurio and used as a reference for his painting. The photo shows the attacker's face.
Finally. That's why you're here, Mr. Holmes. You have the photograph.
It is what your man was after when he broke into Mercurio's apartment, and it is what you're after too, isn't it, Mr. Bernadotte?
You have the photograph with you. How much do you want for it?
I am not naive enough to carry it with me, but I am yet to decide what I shall do with it. I know the man in the photo is a British envoy. What interest do you have in his downfall?
I must admit, I'm rather impressed by how comprehensively you have pursued this matter. And so, you deserve the honest answer. My business dealings are often arduous in their bureaucracy. A man in his position, willing to look the other way, could ease my work significantly. In return, I will make sure no one looks his way either. A favor for a favor.
Also known as blackmail, the modus operandi of any true professional.
It was not originally my idea. Mercurio set things in motion, extorting the envoy for the most trivial of ends. Money. In response, the envoy hired my man to retrieve the painting and the photograph, eliminating Mercurio's leverage. I only learned the whole story after the artist was killed in his home.
And rather than extricate yourself, instead you took over Mercurio's venture.
It fell into my lap. As a businessman, I simply seized the opportunity. Now, how much do you want for the image?
I could not help but appreciate the collection of smuggled artifacts in your storeroom. You have rather diversified your business.
Oh, high and mighty of you, Mr. Holmes. Not all smuggling is immoral. I pay generous rates to developing cultures and spread their culture to eager buyers. And furthermore, I supply many immigrants with a taste of home.
A very convenient way of thinking.
I have traveled wildly, Mr. Holmes. I've seen people in far-flung lands for whom my services are a lifeline. Without them, they would starve. The tax on cargo is often so absurd that it would be more profitable to simply sink your ship than dock it in the harbor. And trust me, I am speaking from experience.
Why did you send your man to remove the woman from the camp?
Without a photograph, her testimony was the next best thing. Securing her was in everyone's interest. Victims and witnesses all too often disappear. I thought the girl was safer with us. I did not anticipate what would happen at the camp.
I saw refugees from the camp at your warehouse. They work for you.
I have made certain arrangements with City Hall and the police. Thanks to me, refugees can work and be paid. It's a pathway to freedom.
And how much do you save by capitalizing on their cheap labor?
I have heard no complaints. They seem happy just to get out of that slum.
Why should I give you the photograph?
Just name your price.
What if my price were not money? You claim to have connections, Mr. Bernadotte. Perhaps you could improve conditions for the refugees. Give them a chance for a better life.
Ha! I do have connections, Mr. Holmes, but help the whole camp? You are asking too much. I could, however, make arrangements for one person. The woman who was violated will have her own home outside the camp, solely for her and her child. She will no longer be a refugee, but a princess. That I can guarantee.
Is that really possible?
It will be neither fast nor easy, but I can do it. She deserves it, don't you agree? And as for her abuser, he will serve me, as much as he deserves.
So in your plan, everybody will be given their due. Especially you, Mr. Bernadotte.
Seems like a fair deal, no? I doubt anyone could offer you better. Simply give me the photograph, and the world becomes a better place. I give you my word.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people?
Such is the arrogance of British imperialism. I take your point.
Alors. Yana a été violée et a échappé de peu à un enlèvement. Je dois d'abord m'assurer de la sûreté d'elle et de son enfant. Bernadotti souhaite réunir des preuves compromettantes sur l'envoyé afin de le faire chanter. Ah, j'ai pas encore eu toutes les preuves par contre.
I need some... If you...
The front door's now open, sir. You can leave through it. If you want, of course.
Ah, mais j'ai pas eu toutes les preuves ici.
An amazing piece of culture. I imagine many collectors and museums would be interested in having it. Help me, please.
Sorry, we don't see much here.
Alors. Il donne la photo, il s'en servira pour faire chanter l'envoyé britannique en échange Bernadotti fournira un foyer, ouais. Oui, méprisable et Bernadotti cherche à tirer profit d'une horrible situation. Kennedy de confiance sur la vérité, si elle est révélée, résoudra l'affaire. Donnez la photographie à Vogel afin qu'il dévoile tout au public. L'affaire Véreux, il semble sincère dans sa promesse à donner à Nayla et à son enfant une vie heureuse. Tout ce qui compte à présent, donner à Bernadotti les preuves nécessaires pour faire chanter l'envoyé. Moi, j'ai zéro confiance en lui, hein, perso. Et moi je voudrais faire ça là. Mais je sais pas à qui parler pour ça.
Can I ask you a question?
Sorry, we don't see much here.
Porcelain friend for every child.
Une caisse remplie de jouets. Et...
Shipped from Cape Town. The wine route from colony to colonies. An essential remedy against sea scourge on any ship.
Contiennent des citrons, renferme du vin.
Come on, Sherry. It's time to act.
Ouais, je sais, mais...
So many goods here. Let's find something illegal.
This earthenware came a long way from the Staffordshire potteries. Bernadotte doesn't miss an opportunity to occupy every niche in the market.
Ah d'accord, donc ici j'ai eu toutes les preuves. Bon, Thomas Norton, là putain, où est-ce que je... Oui, ils veulent pas... Être au poste de police, ils savent quelque chose.
Any progress with the case, Mr. Holmes?
Guests of Cordona, the treasures await you.
Have you found anything helpful?
Ah putain, je suis... Quel con, il était juste là, quoi. Ah là là... Bon, bref. Bien son bureau, ok.
If you're here on matters of signing up for military service, come back tomorrow. Our department needs to straighten out some business.
Pas le temps de se raser. Bien usé, jamais enlevé. Ah. Il est à la tâche de Jean-Luc Reichmann. Tenue froissée, reste longtemps au travail. N'a pas dormi de la veille. La médaille de l'ordre du pain semble très usée. L'homme en est manifestement fier et ne le retire jamais. La tache rouge qui est visible sur son poignet indique qu'il a récemment consommé du vin. Ses habits sont plissés, il prend à peine le temps de se raser et ses yeux injectés du sang suggèrent qu'il souffre probablement d'insomnie, qu'il est en proie à une grande anxiété. Porte à croire qu'il vit un véritable cauchemar et cherche à se purger dans du souvenir des terribles erreurs qui le hantent. La tache de vin rouge qu'on observe sur son poignet et son visage hirsute indique que la paresse dont cet homme fait preuve dans son devoir. La médaille de l'ordre du bain semble très... Habit plissé, ses yeux injectés de sang pourraient signifier qu'il n'est pas entré chez lui la nuit dernière. Au lieu de se concentrer sur son travail, cet homme préfère se noyer dans un océan d'alcool et de dépravation. J'aurais pu se dire ça, moi.
Why are you staring at me like I'm a Madame Tussauds figure? Didn't you hear what I just said?
On my way here, I was wondering whether you might regret what you did. I tried my best to retain at least a shred of faith in humanity. I had hoped that you would hear her scream, see her face in your dreams, or at least once ask yourself how Naylor might feel.
Who?
Neither of my hopes were fulfilled.
Why are you here?
Pour te frapper dans la bouche. Montrer la photo.
I came to talk. I have a solid piece of evidence that proves you guilty of the violation of a young girl.
What kind of evidence? The silly painting? That's ridiculous. Rumors. Don't listen to a word of it.
I wouldn't call it solid if it were just a painting. I have a photograph that would be enough to cause a scandal at the very least, not to mention criminal consequences.
A photograph? Oh, so you've plucked up courage to finally come here. I won't pay you a single coin until I see the photograph for myself.
I'm not interested in money. I came here to hear your version of what took place. I'm not in the habit of making rash decisions.
Not in the habit? Well, it didn't seem like that from the letter you wrote.
I've never written a single word to you. That's not my style. I'm more direct. But in exchange for my patience, I demand your full cooperation. I need you to tell me everything.
Fine. I suppose now we have a nice long talk. Do you drink, Mr.
Sherlock Holmes. And I do not.
Shame. All the best discussions are accompanied by a glass of whiskey. But out of respect for you, I won't drink either.
Respect? That's an unusual word in your mouth, Mr.
Where are my manners? My name is Thomas Norton, a British envoy in Cordona on a military mission. So, where do we start?
Alors.
You mentioned blackmail. Tell me about it.
All right. A couple of days ago, I received an anonymous letter. It said that in the art gallery at Caravansary there exists a painting that incriminates me. The blackmailer made it clear that if there is a painting, then a photograph exists too. And I should be wary of what it might do to my reputation.
What does the blackmailer want from you?
Money, of course. What else do such people want? Needless to say, I don't remember anyone taking photographs at the party. Up until the last moment, I hoped he was bluffing. But he wasn't, as you've just proven to me.
Show me the letter.
I burnt it as soon as I read it. I've left enough evidence. There's no need for any more.
So, let's return to the beginning. What happened at the party?
I vaguely remember that night. As usual at such parties, you meet people, you talk with them, they invite you to spend some time alone with them. What can I say? I got myself mixed up with the wrong company, and somebody must have mixed some psychoactive substance in my drink. After that, it's all blurry. I completely lost my sanity. I made a terrible mistake which I regret deeply.
You don't say. Do refugee girls often appear on the menu at those types of parties?
It's rather rare.
So you didn't attend the party to engage in an exotic experience involving a vulnerable woman unable to accuse you of assault?
I would never have planned such a terrible thing. What happened was just bad circumstance.
The painting that depicted you in the image of the devil was stolen by a mercenary. Did you have anything to do with it?
I might be a rotten person, sir, but hiring criminals for illicit purposes is not in my daily schedule.
And buying the painting in an attempt to hide the crime, is that on your daily schedule?
What would you do in my situation?
I would never put myself in such a situation.
You're young. I could never have imagined myself in my current position, yet here I am in front of you. We all make mistakes, Mr. Holmes, and I'm no exception.
Boniface Mercurio, does the name mean anything to you?
He's an artist, right?
The one responsible for the painting that compromises you. I found him dead in his room.
Oh, that is bad. Wait, you don't think that I have anything to do with this?
You had motive to kill him.
Maybe I did, but listen. I know how this looks, but murder? That's on another level. I had thoughts that this Mercutio...
Mercurio?
Well, him, yes. I thought he could have been the blackmailer. But I was too afraid to make any hasty decisions. There were plenty of ways to fail by making a move, so I chose to wait. To see what he would do next. You have to believe me.
I don't believe people, I believe evidence.
Then look at the evidence. Mr. Holmes, I've built my entire career on hard work and uncompromising dedication to the Crown. I made a mistake, but I'm not a villain from some cheap adventure fiction. By putting me behind bars, you will benefit precisely no one.
Rotting in prison is the least you deserve, but I have a better idea. You will make amends and help the ones you hurt. Use your connections to help patriate the refugees, find them decent homes, give them jobs. There must be a meaning to your position and my decision.
Yes, all right, I can do that. So, will you give me the photograph now?
That's not all. Naylor deserves
Ah bah en fait
the
c'est les
very
deux.
utmost of what you can do.
help the girl. I can't risk the press paying extra attention to her. I will do anything except that.
I need to think this all through. Don't do anything foolish in the meantime.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people?
Alors... Intérêt que l'envoyé porte à photographie est problématique. S'il l'obtient, sa réputation sera plus menacée. Les réfugiés sont victimes du système et la situation dans laquelle ils se trouvent peut et doit être corrigée. L'envoyé ne mérite ni confiance ni absolution pour ses méfaits. Le châtiment infligé par le peuple scandalité de Cordona est le moins qu'il mérite. Donner photographie à Vogel afin qu'il rende l'affaire tout public. Un débauché qui a commis un acte terrible bien qu'il mérite d'être jugé ne peut faire le prix. Non, je pense qu'on va aller peut-être voir Vogel. Hein. Il était où lui? Dans la vieille ville, Hermès et Bazar, machin. Boniface. Ah oui, voilà, c'était là. Ah, et j'ai combien de sous? J'ai 21. Vite fait, je vais aller voir les marchands.
Come! Merhaba.
Allez hop.
May your purchase bring you joy.
Ah, le hall principal est restauré. Ça on va le faire. Merde, c'est pas là. Ah non, c'est après. Pardon, pardon.
Mr. Holmes, you've returned. Have you uncovered anything new about the theft?
Fous la merde.
I've brought news, but not all of it will please you.
Fill me in,
Fous la
Mr.
merde.
Holmes. I won't shoot the messenger.
I located the thief, but found him rather cold. He was tight-lipped about the painting too.
Huh, he's dead. How very droll, Mr. Holmes. One presumes you were not responsible.
It was an accident at the refugee camp. He impaled himself on his own knife.
Life is nothing if not cruel and capricious.
I tracked down Boniface Mercurio.
I presume he wasn't delighted about the situation.
He was not having a good day on account of his murder. Killed in his own flat by the same person that stole his painting.
Oh, sweet Mercurio, perishing in the pursuit of his art. How apt. I will miss his exceptional sense of humor. What about the stolen painting? Have you located it?
I found the painting, but I could not retrieve it.
Well then, where is it?
In Bernadotti's office.
Bernadotti? That shady businessman? Why would he steal it from me?
I'm afraid you'll have to ask him yourself.
I take it you found something more then.
I found the source of Mercurio's artistic inspiration. A photograph. What troubled me was that the sexual act captured was non-consensual.
She was violated? Dear God, how despicable.
Her abuser was in fact the British envoy. Mercurio took a picture of him committing the atrocity and then used it as artistic inspiration.
I had no idea a mere break-in would eventually expose such barbarity.
Mr. Vogel, I want you to make everything public, including the photograph. I'm sure you have a connection at the Cordona Chronicle.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. Loyal to your own truth till the end. Yes, I'm acquainted with the staff of the Chronicle. The story is sensational, and will surely draw attention to the gallery. But you must be aware that exposing the scandal will further hurt the victim. Does that not bother you?
No matter what one does, the truth tends to come out, as well it should. I won't be the one to stand in its way.
Though it's only your subjective truth being exposed. Not that I'm judging. It's perfectly reasonable for everyone to have their own views.
When you called me, you knew exactly what you would get.
Oh, but I'm not like you, Mr. Holmes. I cannot be sure of anything. Regardless, I must thank you, for art's sake. Well, now that we've resolved all of our outstanding matters, I have a gift for you. I took the liberty of having it delivered to Stonewood Manor. I am told it belonged to your mother.
And what exactly have you sent me?
Frankly, I'm not sure how to answer that. I trust you'll know.
Previously, you mentioned there may have been more to my mother's passing than consumption. It appears you were right.
Oh dear, I'd hoped to be wrong.
She was unstable, mentally unwell. She required sustained specialized treatment, but her madness persisted.
I knew that Violet had disappeared from the public eye, but had no idea of her suffering. I cannot imagine what you're feeling.
I'm fine. Thank you, Mr. Vogel. I am curious to see what you have procured.
80 balles, let's go. Bon, bah écoute, hein. Autant dire toute la vérité, rien que la vérité, je te jure. Alors, donc, on doit aller chez moi. Par contre, avant... hop là. Peut-être retourner. Bah du coup, on peut acheter les autres objets.
Don't miss out. May your purchase bring you joy.
Don't miss out.
Tac tac tac. Et là, alors chambre à coucher, le hall principal.
Out on my unique clothes.
Et il me reste 31. Est-ce que... Ah, il y a un truc au Cordona Chronicle. Et... Vendeur de mobilier de luxe. Ah, alors attends. À 30 balles, je sais pas si je vais pouvoir acheter quelque chose.
Extra, extra! A very British scandal!
Refresh your... My...
Ah, une coiffeuse. Eh bah oui.
Enjoy your purchase.
Restauration dans la chambre de mère. Parfait. Et je crois que j'ai pile assez pour acheter le journal.
Extra! Interested.
Parfait. Pile un...
Check the front page. You won't...
Alors, journal de John. Conséquences. Scandale très britannique. Quel est le lien qui unit l'acte de vandalisme perpétré dans la galerie d'art, le meurtre de l'éminent artiste local Boniface Mercurio, des conciliabule tenu en plein milieu de la nuit et l'envoyé britannique. Réponse, une peinture. Comme l'explique Vernel Vogel, propriétaire de la galerie, une des œuvres salaces de Mercurio représentant un diable affichant une ressemblance avec l'envoyé britannique. Des preuves photographiques ont récemment émergé, confirmant que ladite ressemblance n'a rien d'une coïncidence et que le diplomate a bel et bien violenté une réfugiée. L'envoyé britannique, dont l'indécence ne connaît manifestement aucune limite, a cherché à étouffer la vérité de ses actes par tous les moyens envisageables. Pour sûr, aucun châtiment ne pourra s'avérer excessif, mais en quoi cela profitera-t-il à la pauvre réfugiée qui, enceinte et sans le toit, devra en souffrir le plus? Ah, mais au bout d'un moment, faut faire un choix. Hein. Rimsad, comment ça va? Alors, le Cordona Chronicle, apparemment il y a quelque chose.
Come back once you've dealt with Panzer.
Killed with one perfect shot to each eye. Can you imagine? Killed with one perfect shot to each.
Ah, attends, comment je peux la...
Killed with one perfect shot to each eye. Can you imagine? Killed with one
Ah, voilà. Alors, découvrir où s'est déroulé l'incroyable meurtre. Ok. Querelle de riches. Non. Rester à la maison. Dans les vieilles ruines. Guerre de gang. Ok, alors dans les vieilles ruines. D'accord.
Killed with one perfect shot.
Les rumeurs parlent d'un homme qui a été tué dans les vieilles ruines au sud-ouest du Grand Sarret. Prétend qu'on lui aurait tiré dans les 2 yeux. L'histoire me paraît des plus extravagantes, mais j'en saurais plus en enquêtant dessus. J'ai déjà plein de trucs à faire. Ok, d'accord. Bon écoute, ça va. Là, je vais enfin finir l'enquête. Non, c'était long. Et donc là, on doit retourner à la maison parce que j'ai... Ah oui, oui, bah c'est le truc des vieilles ruines. Et j'ai un peu rénové plusieurs pièces et apparemment un colis m'attend. Alors attends, avant de l'ouvrir... Ah oui, effectivement.
Well done, Sherry. The hall now looks much as it did in our youth. Brings back fond memories.
Alors attends. Hop là. Effectivement, ça a de la gueule. Hein.
We used to take a shortcut down the banisters, much to everyone's annoyance.
Oh yeah, what fun. They had to fix these handrails several times. I wouldn't try it now, Sherry. Tempting though it is.
Cher et moi avions pour habitude de descendre les escaliers du hall principal en glissant sur la rampe. C'était la méthode la plus rapide et la plus drôle aussi. Mycroft détestait ça, il ne pouvait pas nous empêcher de le faire. Charpentier ont dû réparer les rampes de nombreuses fois. Des choses ici. Apparemment non, alors peut-être en bas. Et que ça? Ah ouais. Bon. Du coup. Alors, la chambre à coucher.
I can sense an incoming memory, Sherry. Do you?
I was so frustrated to find only one bed in this room. Mycroft initially refused to bring another for you, but after a week-long dispute, he gave in.
What a stubborn man. How well do you think he would sleep without a bed?
Puis après notre arrivée, Cher s'est querellé avec Mycroft au sujet du mobilier. J'avais besoin d'un endroit où dormir, mais notre chambre ne comportait qu'un seul lit. Scandale! Il n'a pas été simple de convaincre son grand frère, mais après une dispute d'une semaine, il a finalement cédé et je devins l'heureux propriétaire d'un lit. En même temps, ouais, c'est pour mon ami imaginaire. Ah, d'accord.
Oh, the room looks nice now. It's comforting to see the way it was meant to be.
My mother always preferred to spend her rare moments of lucidity with me.
That's true. She even stopped Mycroft from joining you. Remember?
I do. He didn't show it, but he was upset. I think Mother paid more attention to me because I was younger.
Pendant ces rares moments de lucidité, la mère de Sherlock voulait toujours passer du temps avec lui. Un jour, elle nous a trouvés en train de nous préparer pour la pièce et elle nous a aidé à appliquer le maquillage de scène devant le miroir. Mycroft voulait nous rejoindre, mais elle a refusé. Je ne l'ai pas montré, mais je sais que ça l'a attristé. Violette prêtait toujours plus d'attention à Cher parce qu'il était plus jeune. Ok. Ça c'est bon. Alors. Alors le colis, qu'est-ce
It
que c'est?
reminds me of my mother.
Par contre ce tableau, oh là 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 là. Qu'est-ce que ça pue l'argent. Alors, qu'est-ce que c'est que ça? Est-ce que c'est l'éléphant? Oh.
It's a bizarre object, and yet oddly familiar.
Bah c'est pas mon style.
Yes. A room full of curiosities and artifacts. I think I can find it in the manor.
Sherlock. So, you continue to pursue the imaginary. I had hoped you might have got all this out of your system by now.
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Get out of my house.
It's my house, actually. I've come to bring you back.
I have no interest in returning, let alone with you. I know you lied about Mother all these years, claiming she was merely ill, but she was unstable. She never had tuberculosis. She was not recuperating, but mentally deteriorating, and you never once thought to tell me. How dare you?
I shall not indulge this petulant tantrum. You can just tire yourself out and then slink back to London with your tail between your legs.
Just tell me everything! I'm an adult now. Show me the basic courtesy of an explanation. You know I will find out eventually.
The goal was stability, and that's what you got. The right thing for everyone was to try and move on from her passing.
The consequences of one's actions determines what is right or wrong.
Yes, exactly. The ends justify the means. After leaving Cordona, Sherlock, you had a normal childhood. In London, I was able to support you, guide you, shape you into a fine and productive young man. You have so much potential, so much to offer society.
But that's not the end. Now I found the truth, and it has shattered everything I knew about her, about you.
Ouais, moi aussi je le
and
prends
about
et je
myself.
le vends,
I
mais
feel unstable because
c'est pas ouf. Hein.
your actions were not justified. Lying never
J'ai connu mieux
is.
comme déco. Hein. À Jiffy, ils ont eu une meilleure déco.
It was a white lie which has as much use in the realm of the interpersonal as the international. It is time you come to accept that some things are bigger than yourself.
Oh, you are full of it. You like to pretend you care about the big picture, but it's just an ego trip. You like knowing more than others. You like greasing palms and rubbing shoulders with the rich and powerful. You like having eyes and ears everywhere. The fact it helps the nation is incidental, because all you care about is yourself.
It's true. I have agents everywhere, including Cordona. If you weren't so damn stubborn, you'd realize that means I'm only here for you.
Ce drama. Ce drama qui justifie mon titre de stream. Ouais, non, c'est pas... Ouais. Alors... Donc apparemment, c'est cette porte-là.
Another one. There must be something important behind it. I can feel it. Another one. There must be something important behind it. I can feel it.
Ah oui. Ah, là.
I remember returning home with a pair of perfect sticks. We wanted to turn them into training swords.
Oh, that's right. We stood there, frozen, staring at something huge in the main hall. It was a giant aquarium with a living mermaid in it.
Impossible. It must have been something else. Oh, of course, that mortifying hoax presently taking up space in our front yard.
Well, fine. Your memory's better than mine. But I'm sure we started examining it immediately. And someone else was around too.
It was my mother. She asked what I thought of the artifact.
You were really concentrating and holding something in your hand.
I inspected it with a magnifying glass and was able to confirm it was made of two different skeletons. The mermaid was a fake.
And so it was time to smash the thing. Your mother took a hammer and...
Slow down, John. That's not how it happened. I remember other people joined us. The workers took the artifact and placed it into the cabinet of curiosities. It became part of Mother's collection of fakes. She always said that the truth lies in the details. This mermaid helped me to learn that.
Sha.
Ah yes, my mother's studio. She was an authenticator, and this was her cabinet of curiosities.
I never saw the point. What does it matter if some artifact is real or not? It still exists.
J'ai jamais visité de cabinet de curiosité. Là, ce serait mon délire. Watkinson and Holman, Chapter 1.
Watkinson and Holman, Chapter 1, by Wallace Dioram.
Oh, Mycroft. He always acts so serious, but then reads tripe like this.
John, if I remember correctly, you couldn't put this book down. I remember this cozy blanket. It was perfect for...
Wigwam! Oh, that was a joy to build them. Imagining ourselves as wayfarers on the other side of the world.
On peut être potentiellement très fan, d'accord. Ouais, ça dépend de ce qu'il y a, quoi. Mais je sais même pas... par chez moi, je sais même pas si ça existe. Oula.
So many calling cards. Mycroft liked to keep useful people at hand.
Officier Luciano Placido.
Officer Luciano J. Placido. Reliable and driven. I recognize Mycroft's handwriting.
Cher Monsieur Holmes, je souhaite vous faire part de ma plus sincère gratitude pour l'aide que vous avez apportée dans cette affaire privée. Je frémis à l'idée de ce qui aurait pu se passer sans votre œil aiguisé et votre esprit acéré. Soyez assuré de voir en moi un ami précieux si jamais nos routes venaient à se croiser à nouveau. Juge MacDougall.
Carefully opened. Dated 24th of April 1869.
Monsieur Mycroft Holmes, l'hôtel de ville de Cordona vous informe que le procès du docteur Otto Richter concernant la mort de Madame Violet Holmes a été attribué au juge MacDougall. Ah bah tiens. Votre demande de procès en huis clos a été acceptée. Par la présente, nous vous informons que l'accusation vous a appelé comme témoin principal dans le cadre du procès du docteur Otto Richter. Veuillez vous présenter à la cour d'assises de Cordona aux dates listées à la suite de cette convocation.
This drawer was always closed. Only Mycroft knew how to open it.
I remember we tried to break it open and spy on him, but alas, had no success. Maybe today's the day. Oh, Sherry. Look, it's Roger. This jolly old man's well preserved. Even looks refreshed.
I doubt he drew much interest at the auction.
That's for the best. I'd be upset if he fell into the wrong hands.
This photo caused a lot of fuss. My mother spent some time to prove it was a fake.
Oh, ça ressemble à la photo de la fille qu'il y avait dans le bureau de l'italien là.
1852, Bingley, West Yorkshire. An archaeological find should be here. It's far better than beneath the old city walls. An archaeological find should be here. It's far better than beneath the old city walls. The so-called mummy of a Persian princess. The defrauders did good work, but missed one small detail. It's the mummy of a man.
Ah. Oh, Cthulhu.
And this one was brought from a German museum. They claimed it belonged to Vikings. Nonsense, of course. Vikings never had horns on their helmets.
Ouais, c'est bizarre de trouver une photo comme ça. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on a? Un diplôme. Diplôme déchiré. Un diplôme déchiré dans le cabinet de curiosité. Quelqu'un l'a délibérément déchiré en 1000 morceaux. Une fois les morceaux rassemblés et traduits, le diplôme est comme suit: au nom du Sénat de l'Université de Genève en Suisse. Nous, recteur de l'université, constatant que M. Otto Richter a bien suivi les épreuves exigées par la loi et les règlements, lui confère le grade de docteur en médecine, avec les droits et prérogatives qui y sont attachés.
Clearly, it was deliberately torn. I wonder why someone would do that.
Le tulpa.
The Tulpa, Studies in Tibetan Mentalism. An impressive number of bookmarks. Someone was rather obsessed with this subject.
Alors, Madame Holmes représente une patiente à l'intérêt indéniable, ainsi qu'un sujet de test idéal pour mettre en application certaines de mes théories. Je vais essayer de la plonger de manière répétée dans la situation traumatique qui est à l'origine de sa maladie mentale. J'ai la ferme conviction que revivre cet épisode conférera à son esprit une chance d'accepter ce qui est arrivé et ainsi de trouver la voie vers la guérison. J'ai confiance en mon hypothèse et dois juste en fournir la preuve concrète. De plus, cela m'offre l'occasion rare de fréquenter la famille Holmes, ce qui me permettra peut-être d'étudier de plus près le caractère héréditaire des traits psychologiques, que ce soit au niveau des facultés ou des troubles. Il m'est déjà apparu que tous les membres de cette famille partagent une intelligence hors norme. Il semble que la maladie de la mère ait commencé à influer sur le mental de son fils cadet Sherlock. Bien que je ne puisse mener un examen médical approfondi en raison du tempérament protecteur du vice aîné, il me paraît clair que ce jeune garçon souffre d'hallucinations sous la forme d'un ami imaginaire John. Mon cher frère, j'ai eu vent de ton arrivée récente en Cordona et tu es venu me rendre visite. N'aurais pas à converser... Passer à converser me manque, même si nous n'étions jamais d'accord. Cordona accueille une superbe nouvelle galerie d'art que je fréquente tous les jeudis. Retrouvons-nous sur place. Oh, il ne demande pas après Klaus. J'ai laissé ce nom derrière moi. Ah, on pourra peut-être voir son frère.
The full plate armor of Sir Robert Swanford. I was told my father won it in a wager.
Armour is armour, but look at his sword. Oh, how badly I wanted to wield the blade. Maybe you take it instead of your pistol.
I'm starting to remember something.
Ah, alors attends.
I used this ladder to look at the top shelf, right? On the day of Mother's breakdown upstairs.
Right you are, Sherry.
We heard a noise. I can't recall of exactly what. And we didn't have a great view from behind the statue. Books and papers from the table somehow ended up on the floor. Now it's coming to the surface. I feel it.
John time. Alors.
Come on, Sherry. Let's go outside. Wait. Did you hear that? Come here, Sherry.
You call this progress? Charlatan, amateur. I'm not letting you anywhere near my mother again.
So there was a quarrel between them.
Tout ça s'est produit peu après l'incident dans la chambre de Violette le 9 avril. Sherlock avait décidé de jouer avec des artefacts dans la chambre dans le... Blé. Sherlock avait décidé de jouer avec des artefacts dans le cabinet de curiosité, et je l'y ai bien sûr accompagné. Nous avons par conséquent été les témoins involontaires d'une altercation entre Mycroft et Richter. Le frère de Sherlock était en colère et il était convaincu que le docteur Richter avait fait quelques expériences douteuses sur leur mère. Et que cela ne s'était pas passé comme prévu. Il a traité Otto de charlatan.
I heard a noise in the hall. Let's check it out.
Oui, 2 secondes.
One of the most ridiculous fakes I ever saw. Its owner insisted it was a polar bear. He thought the white paint on the brown fur wasn't noticeable.
Alors, tac, 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 tac. Mycroft n'apprécie pas les méthodes du docteur Richter. Il ne lui faisait pas confiance. Tac, 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 quelqu'un à la porte. Ah oui, attends, on voulait savoir si on pouvait ouvrir ça.
Ah, the memory comes back. We snuck about watching him.
He closed the drawer and went to the hall. We were like two shadows crawling behind him.
The painting on the wall was slightly at tilt. He stopped and straightened it. Then he threw some logs into the fire and sat in his armchair to read.
It's as boring now as it was then. I'm sorry, Sherry, but I think that's it.
Wait, John, we never use the fireplace in the mornings. What if... A bit of juniper in the fireplace created a soothing atmosphere. It's the little things, isn't it? I think this is what we're looking for.
Uh-huh.
We made it. So what's there?
De l'agneau, le gamin. Alors, c'est quoi? Royal Loch Nagar. Du scotch, whisky.
Single malt whiskey. Mycroft's favorite. Gifted by Queen Victoria herself.
Ah ouais. Rien que ça. Une demi-bouteille de whisky single malt de qualité. La boisson préférée de Mycroft. Nous l'avons trouvée à l'intérieur d'un tiroir fermé à clé du bureau de cabinet de curiosité. Baigné d'une pile de documents importants. Remarquablement, il semble que le whisky soit un présent venant de Sa Majesté la Reine Victoria en personne. Putain, mon salaud.
Otto Richter. This one is rather thick. Mycroft can be truly dogged in his research.
Alors, Otto Richter est âgé de 45 ans et vient d'une famille respectée de Berne en Suisse. Il est célibataire et n'a pas d'héritier connu. Docteur en médecine diplômé de l'université de Genève en Suisse, la remise de son diplôme a été repoussée d'1 an en raison d'un scandale mineur lors d'une de ses affectations. Ses parents sont morts du choléra en 1963. Il ne lui reste qu'un seul proche en la personne de Klaus, son demi-frère de 35 ans. La résidence de ce dernier est inconnue. Il a été vu pour la dernière fois en Cordona.
Dossiers on the most influential people on Cordona. Mycroft always had a habit of building files on everyone he met.
Ok. Alors, du coup, il y avait quelqu'un à la porte. There is something in my house. Ah, j'avais pas vu ça.
This was among the hunting trophies of a Scottish Viscount.
So he tried to persuade everyone that his forest was inhabited by these beasts. It would have been thrilling if it were actually true. Sherry, look! We've got a parcel here. Hurry up and let's see what's inside.
Cher Monsieur Holmes, je vous attends au manoir de Kurt Manchios, lequel se trouve sur Turquoise Hélène, en face de l'abbaye de Cordona dans le nord du Grand Sarret. Venez de ce pas, si la chose vous incommode, venez quand même. Votre ami à jamais, VV. Ah, Vogel. PS, je vous ai fait parvenir un costume convenant à l'occasion afin de vous épargner les complications inutiles. J'espère qu'il vous ira.
An invitation that comes with a mask. We can't miss this, Sherry.
Alors... Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça? Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça? Prince des ténèbres. Ah, ça me... Comment ça s'appelle le film d'horreur, là? La série de films, c'est pas La Nonne? Ou je sais plus quoi, là, il y a une série de films d'horreur qui est sortie il y a pas si longtemps. C'est d'un ridicule. Ah, écoute, il y a pas de raison que je sois le seul à être ridicule. N'importe nawak. Ah, mais du coup, pourquoi ça marche pas pour John?
I think we deserve a rest.
Conjuring, voilà. La nonne dérivée des films Conjuring. Ah, ça me fait penser à ça. Mais alors, la nonne, il est blasé. Alors, nord du Grand Sarret, l'abbaye de Cordona. Église, car abordable. Non, attends, je suis con. Grand Sarret. C'est là. L'abbaye de Cordona. Et il mettait turquoise, je ne sais quoi. Ça doit être par là. On va aller là. Excusez-moi, madame. Moi, je vois ça à 4 h du mat, je flippe. Hein. Désolé, mais... On fait 2 films sur la nonne, le deuxième se passe en France il y a quelques décennies, d'accord. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Non, ça doit être par ici, je pense.
Welcome to the Manchios mansion.
Merci. Ouais, tout ce qui est film d'horreur, c'est vraiment pas mon délire. Donc, Bon, ça va, je suis pas le seul à être ridicule. Waouh, des vers invisibles. L'actrice qui la joue a d'ailleurs porté plainte contre les sociétés de production. Visiblement, elle n'aurait pas eu de banque financier qui sont dans son contrat. Ah bah, fallait lire ton contrat, ma belle. Hein. Ça, ce serait leur défense. Hein. Bon, j'espère que ça va pas se finir en eyes wide shut. Bon. Moi, j'ai cru que c'était Mycroft. Moi, elle a lu d'où la plainte. Ah. Oh, mais tu sais, c'est les gens contre qui elle se bat. C'est des requins. Pourquoi les serveurs ont disparu? Tcha 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 tcha.
Welcome, sir. I do hope you enjoy yourself. Welcome, sir.
Comme ça, monsieur.
I do hope you enjoy
Excusez-moi.
yourself.
Alors...
Enjoy the evening, sir. There is still plenty of time before the grand finale.
All right.
Madame.
What if I write an article about these people here? Can you help me gather information about Cordona's elite?
Et il est où ton costume, toi? J'espère que le nom de l'enquête ce sera bah dis donc, tu viens plus aux soirées?
You know what was here before Manchio's family bought it.
Alors, vin onéreux, ça on s'en fout. Escroquerie, hein, peut-être? Non. Cercle magique. Architecte culte. Enchère. Voilà, c'est ça. Avant de revenir à la famille Manchio, le manoir appartenait à un architecte au penchant occulte. Il avait consacré sa vie à l'exécution d'un puissant rituel tiré d'un tome oublié. Et que les cercles de magie ordinaires étaient incapables d'alimenter. Pour cette raison qu'il bâtit le manoir. Un observateur attentif pourra remarquer que la structure de celui-ci correspond en effet à certains symboles magiques, et que plusieurs murs sont creux. Un jour l'architecte disparut, ne laissant derrière lui qu'une simple tache de cendre sur le sol. Peut-être était-il enfin parvenu à réaliser son ambition.
That's what I like about this party. Bring me more dirt, Sherry. One more piece, and I can expose these base hedonists.
John, tu es décadent.
My goodness, Sherlock, they made a blood fountain.
No, John, it's definitely not blood, just wine.
On dirait aussi le niveau de la fête des quartiers nobles dans Dishonored là. J'ai pas fait Dishonored. Bon alors, où sont Tom Cruise et Nicole Kidman?
I'm so excited about the event.
Oh, don't act like you haven't thought about it, darling.
Ok. Mhm.
Ready for the big whirlwind? Danny is around.
All there's beauties. Manchio's is the best, as always.
Hey, handsome. I see that look in your eyes.
I guarantee we'll have a good time.
Non, j'en doute pas.
I should write to my friend about the handsome men here. He'd appreciate it.
On va aller ici, je sais pas par où aller. Bonjour madame. Bon ça va John, ça va, tranquille.
Honey, you feeling lonely? I'll be your friend.
Manchio's had to enforce the masks after the scandal.
Mettre en lumière le scandale de l'identité révélée. Oh, trop fort du premier coup. J'ai eu vent d'un scandale qui s'est déroulé lors d'une soirée passée. Le vice-gouverneur Cowden a été découvert par sa future épouse, une duchesse de Prusse, en compagnie de plusieurs jeunes hommes. Ah. Le mariage était certes de nature politique, mais les sentiments de la duchesse, eux, étaient sincères. L'incident a provoqué une crise politique entre Cordona et la Prusse. Le gouverneur, en dépit des faibles protestations, a fini par congédier son protégé.
I'll pin them down, this scoop. Thank you, Sherlock.
Ah, c'était un défi de John. Ah, bah oui, c'était ça, d'accord. J'ai même pas fait exprès. Je t'en prie, John, je t'en prie. Alors, invitation de Vogel.
Look, I'm an outlaw.
Help me, please. I have nothing to hide, sir, but I've never heard of this.
Moi, je voulais pas te parler, en fait. Enfin, pas de ça. Ah, attends, je vais peut-être enlever ça, parce que sinon, les conversations...
Honey, you feeling lonely?
Bonjour,
I'll
madame.
be your friend.
Sherlock! Friend! I wasn't sure you'd come.
Barrez-vous les catins.
Werner, I see you are not yourself.
The more time you spend here in Cordona, the more I feel it my duty to bring you into our world and show you all we have to offer.
And what is on offer today?
Pleasure, indulgence, relief, and relaxation. You've earned some time for yourself, have you not?
Those who know me would say I'm incapable of it.
Nonsense. I refuse to believe there is anyone permitted to know Sherlock Holmes.
Huh. You may be right.
Then free yourself from inhibition and expectation. The night is young, and so are the guests. You should try to enjoy both. It's not healthy for handsome men to spend every night alone, and certainly not in a house filled with such melancholic memories.
I must admit, my travels have proven more taxing than expected. I'm less confident in my life and myself. A time of relaxation seems a distant dream.
So can I tempt you with a physical aid to your moral consolations? There's wine, of course, and something to smoke, or perhaps an artificial paradise? Yes, something more spiritual, a potentiator to sharpen the mind. A 7% solution of, well, that'd be telling, but you must try it.
My mind already operates at a far higher level than most. I struggle to believe anything could improve it. My ultimate duty is to provide the world with truth, and I do that perfectly well as is.
Duty? You've never cared about that before.
Of course I do. Exposing a lie, revealing a fact, that is a moral responsibility.
That's not morality. Morals are what happens afterwards when truth collides with consequence. Do you ever follow up on cases you solved? Do you ever see what happened next, visit the victims, ensure justice is served in the courts? And how do you choose where to direct your attention? Are there not deserving causes to which your brilliance
Bien vois-tu, dans ce carnet, j'ai les quêtes principales, les quêtes secondaires.
I have a narrow skill set and work within that mandate. What occurs afterward is irrelevant.
With every action or inaction, you place a finger on the scales of morality. Many in the city would see you as abdicating your responsibility.
I haven't.
Not me, of course. Morality is subjective, just like truth. There is little to be gained from indulging in it, and far better things to indulge in. Now I must insist on easing any burdens I've placed upon your shoulders. Show yourself a kindness, and try this rather delectable concoction.
Ça, c'est le pote relou qui veut te faire boire alors que t'as pas envie. Hein. T'es une mauvaise influence, Werner. Hein. Pas possible.
If this solution truly does assist with thinking, then perhaps it would be puerile to overlook an opportunity to study it. I'll take it with me.
Yes, Sherlock. Very good. And now, our evening begins in earnest. I just remembered. I'm sorry, Sherlock. My mind's delightfully impaired. Please take this key. It opens the altar room, past the library.
Pardon? Altar room? What now, Werner?
Go quickly and find our Fabio. Only you can make him talk. I'll join you in a minute.
Mais qui est ce Fabio? C'est pas un héros de livre érotique, ça, Fabio?
Let Fabio speak for himself.
Alors, la clé, témoignage...
I need a rest from my insatiable wife.
Bébé.
One of these books must open a secret passage. I know it.
Well-known and recent plays to keep up to date with the current trends. These medieval botany and chemistry books look even more satanic than the occult ones. Codex Orchis. Why does this occult book sound like a flower? Codex Orchis. Why does this occult book sound like a flower?
C'est quoi cette porte? Qu'est-ce que c'est que ce manoir, putain? Ah!
My God. Was he here this whole time?
Ouais, c'est à peu près la même tête que je fais. Faut pas être tranquille, hein, c'est pas possible.
A blunt force trauma may have suffered an internal hemorrhage. This crude tattoo partially covers his slave branding.
Ok, donc Flavio était un esclave sexuel. Oh, le... Très joli.
The dagger is heavy and sharp, but lacks balance. The dagger is heavy and sharp, but lacks balance. This golden handle has a bloodstain on it. This worm-like sigil has been drawn with his own blood.
Ah. Bon alors, est-ce qu'il était gâté par la nature? Bon, on ne sait pas. On ne saura pas.
The wound is deep. A precise strike reached the heart.
C'est un rituel sacrifice, ça n'a rien de sexuel.
The victim has clenched the fabric so firmly in his fist that it's nigh impossible to remove it. He died right here.
J'avoue, il n'y aurait pas le corps. Ah bah, oh putain. Qu'est-ce que t'as fait à Fabio? Ah, attends, on va l'interroger après ce connard.
This elaborate box must be for the ritual dagger. The herbs here are Salvia divinorum. They have a slight hallucinogenic effect to emphasize the ceremony. This oil has a slight aroma of flowers and olive. The ointment smells mouse-like. I presume it is an aphrodisiac prepared from a Spanish fly.
Oh, these crime scenes always outdo my imagination.
This one looks like a twisted symbol of Venus, drawn in a hurry.
Alors.
Handcrafted and luxurious cufflinks. There's also a note. For my Fabio. Manchos. The key is similar to the one that Vogel gave me. The capital F on the key fob might refer to Fabio.
Would you recognize me in one of these? I suppose not.
Okay.
A useful tool for a disguise arsenal.
N'ignorez pas les invités Batista, et cessez donc de les ennuyer. Ils n'ont que faire de vos inepties, ils sont là pour se délecter de leur propre beauté et de la générosité à laquelle ils peuvent s'attendre de votre part. Vous êtes ici pour les satisfaire et pour les célébrer les miracles de la vie. Ne l'oubliez pas, chaque invité a payé une petite fortune pour profiter de votre compagnie, Manchio.
How can anyone accept such behavior?
This is a different ritual.
J'ai mis la main sur un guide pour une sorte de rituel avec une inscription écrite au début. On y lit « Lisez et entraînez-vous à accomplir ce rituel, Manchio ». La femme nue se tient étendue sur un lit de fleurs recouvrant l'autel, symbolisant Mère Gaïa. La personne en charge du rituel applique les huiles nécessaires sur le corps de la femme dans le but d'éveiller sa fertilité intérieure. Les participants devraient, à ce stade, entamer leur chant et appeler l'homme qui est capable de satisfaire Mère Gaïa. Enfin, cet homme incarnant le principe de la vie s'adonne au plaisir de la chair avec elle. C'est pas du tout glauque.
The pitcher is empty, but with puddles around it. Blood clots are adhered to the sides of the drain. Identical to the robes the guests are wearing. Props, decorations, and tools for a more detailed set. Similar to the guests' robes, apart from the bloodstains.
Attends, je vais faire le tour et après on verra avec...
What about a quick pillow fight?
Enough cigars to burn down the entire mansion. An open wound spoiled the carpet. Blood. A sturdy bottle met a not-so-sturdy human. It didn't break only because it was unopened.
Ah, là, attends. Allez, voilà, ici.
Why don't people tidy up after themselves?
Comme c'est une cravache, putain, j'ai même pas remarqué. Alors attends, parce que là j'ai pas mal de trucs à faire. Ok, donc on parlera à Vogel de ça.
A bloody handprint on an armchair. The wounded person was here for some time. A person leaned against the doorframe. They left a smudged trail of blood. There appear to be no further traces leading to the altar.
Alors, palais mental. Circonstances de la mort de Fabio. Fabio est mort sur l'autel, tout à fait. Il a été sacrifié, nous sommes d'accord. L'île de Fabio n'a pas bougé. Bon, Vogel, qu'est-ce que c'est que ces conneries là?
Werner, care to explain what is going on here?
On nights like these, it's not unusual for some attendees to get a little exuberant. It's part of the appeal. Unfortunately, it appears things have gotten out of hand. Yes, some are more prone to bend the rules of morality.
That's murder. I doubt there's anything left to bend. Why did you not tell me immediately? We were chatting about trivial matters for some time.
If I'm completely honest, Sherlock, I've consumed a rather potent cocktail of substances. My attention slips and drifts. But I'm glad I thought to call for you.
You sent me a disguise.
Oh dear, did I? Well, since I found the body, Mr. Manchios has agreed that you can investigate the matter. I promise my mind will behave itself going forward.
All right. Pull yourself together, Werner. What is it about these nights that you were so eager to share with me?
Well, they're not always in the evenings, but they are in the shadows. People gather to test their boundaries in a safe and consensual atmosphere. Often with more stains than your typical crime scene. But that is the point. Who are we to judge?
I suppose that's fair. What about today, then? Was anything different?
Well, I was invited as a special guest. It was supposed to be a time of both divine and carnal pleasures. A scratch for every unconventional itch.
I imagine you're reeling from your shattered expectations.
On the contrary, there is still spectacle, stimulation, and release, merely in a different form. I like to let life entertain me.
Or death. Mr. Manchios is the owner of the manor, yes?
And the host of Cordona's most memorable parties. He promises even the ugliest guest a partner for the night. And for the ones with more unconventional tastes, Mr. Manchios provides other services.
What a caring person.
You cannot begin to imagine.
How did you discover the body? In between guzzles of alcohol?
I was set to perform in a fecundity rite with Fabio and came to inquire further. There was a staged ritual where he was to play the principle of life.
And the rehearsal was unsuccessful?
Huh. Who knows? I found him alone on the altar, his blood dripping to the floor.
And then?
Then I called Mr. Manchios. He was panicking, so I told him about you. We left the room and locked the door. Then we were...
filling time?
Waiting for you was stressful. We indulged in some simple comforts. Overindulged, perhaps.
Were you well acquainted with Fabio, the victim?
Everyone knew Fabio, or wanted to. His beauty was the talk of the island. Too handsome to go unnoticed. He was magnetic. Fat wallets fought for the privilege of having him. He offered the pleasures of performance, and more.
Maybe.
What about the fertility ritual? There was something about Fabio being a principle of life.
Fabio was supposed to portray the beauty of life's origin. Flowers, oil... Not this travesty that seems straight out of the Inquisition.
So this ritual is not the fertility rite. What was it meant to look like?
It begins with a woman lying naked in a flower bed on the altar. She represents Gaia, the earth. As I cover her in oils, we chant for the principle. As our calls reach a climax, Fabio enters and copulates with her. After he finishes, I stab her with a dagger. That part's just pretend, of course.
But the intercourse is not?
I did not expect you to be such a prude. Are you a virgin? It is nothing to be ashamed of, but it would explain the color of your cheeks. The fertility rite marks the start of our festivities. The principle of life is beautiful, intimate, essential. It must not be stopped.
Yet it appears that someone did stop it. What about the naked woman? Can you tell me anything about her?
Oh, yes, Matista. She's one of Fabio's compatriots and a performer too. I haven't seen her today, actually.
When you discovered the body, was the door open?
No, it was locked. Oh, that reminds me. It's a minor detail, but the first time I came to speak to Fabio, I left without entering, having been unable to open the door.
You didn't have the key?
No, I had it. Don't look at me like that. I was mostly sober. I suspect there was a key in the other side of the door, blocking the lock.
That detail may very well be major, Werner. Well done. So you returned later only to find the lock was not blocked?
Correct. After an hour had passed, I tried again and was able to unlock the door. That's when I discovered poor, handsome Fabio.
The police remain unaware of this tragic event?
Some of them may be hiding behind their masks. They conceal many things. But we didn't want the authorities to create more problems. Besides, after a few cocktails, their incompetence will have soared to new heights.
How do you know I even want the case?
I promised you relaxation. If there's one thing I know about you, Sherlock, it's that nothing soothes you more than a good mystery.
So, Sherry, do you have any ideas about the case?
Perhaps. I think I can deduce what happened here.
Bon, alors. Faudrait qu'on trouve cette Matista. Là. La clé de la salle de l'hôtel. Alors. Ah, c'est que dans ces instances-là qui changent de costume. Bon, écoute, on va le laisser comme ça. Alors, oh putain, il y en a beaucoup là. Alors. Alors ensuite dans le fumoir. Il n'a pas été poignardé ici. Sinon il y aurait beaucoup plus de sang. Oh, c'est ça.
The bottle was used as a weapon during a scuffle in the smoking lounge. Then, to ensure no one would interrupt, the murderer locked the door. The unconscious body of the victim was moved to the altar room. Once the body was on the altar, the murderer thrust the dagger into the victim's heart. Symbols were drawn with the blood. The wardrobe was used to hide the bloodied robe from anyone's eyes. The killer washed himself and took a clean robe from the hanger before leaving.
Are you all right? You're on the floor, not moving.
I think I know what happened here. The sign reminds me of the astrological symbol for Mars.
Alors, meurtre de Fabio. Alors, palais mental. Clé de Fabio n'a pas bougé. Le meurtrier s'est lavé le corps. Meurtrier qui est en possession d'une clé qui ouvre la porte de la salle de l'hôtel. Il a fermé à clé. Il a été tué dans un meurtre rituel. Le rituel a été mis en scène afin de servir de diversion pour le véritable mobile du meurtre. Je pense plutôt que c'est ça.
I'm starting to put the pieces together.
Fabio was stabbed.
I see nothing gets past you, Werner. Yes, he was stabbed, but only after being knocked out in the next room and placed here. I do not yet know why.
So, who's responsible?
Well, it was one person working alone, and the murderer has now donned a robe. He or she could be hiding in plain sight. We have lost time, Werner, but your discretion may prove to be a benediction after all. The murderer had to have access to this room. After the crime, he used his own key to lock the door. So, who had the key to the altar room?
I'm not sure. As a special guest, I was provided one by Mr. Manchios. He should be able to tell you of any others.
Where can I find him?
Most likely in the main hall, entertaining his guests. He has a mask with golden stars. You can't miss him. But please be discreet. We don't want to risk disturbing the revelry. I know you can untangle this mess.
Alors... Il porte un masque orné d'étoiles d'or. Il devrait avoir l'air bien mieux.
Oh, these crime scenes always outdo my imagination.
Alors fais voir le fameux beau gosse. Ouais, il a pas une beauté exceptionnelle, mais bon. Oh mon Dieu, il y a un cadavre. Alors... Un masque avec des étoiles d'eau. J'arrive pas bien. Oh, ça doit être lui.
Kurt Manchios, I presume. I'm Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, you must be the one Werner told me about. What a sweet voice you have. It must belong to a handsome young man. Can I call you Sherlock?
As you wish, Mr. Manchios. Mr. Vogel asked me to help you.
C'est plaisir de voir qu'un mort a pas plombé l'ambiance de la soirée, j'avoue.
I suspect the murderer to still be here.
What? Lower your voice. I don't want anyone to hear us.
Did you know Fabio well?
People are starting to look at us, Sherlock. Change the subject. I can't believe what happened to him. To me. Such an atrocity. Think what it means for me. A wonderful evening for so many good, influential, and rich people has been ruined. I have betrayed all my promises of exotic delights.
I don't understand. Surely a murder would affect your reputation to a greater extent.
Please, isn't this why you are here? I thought you were a silent magician. Do your tricks.
Ah, il est con quoi, Sherlock. Paye ta répute, hein. Oh, je suis allé à la dernière soirée. Oh bah il y avait un meurtre, hein, mais... mais le vin était bon.
I need to find all those who had the key to the altar room. As far as I know, Mr. Vogel, Fabio, and you had access to it. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. Also, Matista and Santos.
Santos? Who is that?
Santos Pinchetti, my major domo. In his opinion, at least.
I'd like to speak to Mr. Pinchetti and Matista. Do you have somewhere I might have a private conversation with them?
Of course, of course. Let me think. Matista is entertaining the guests somewhere, and Santos... Oh yes, he will be busy with the servants. Or the cook. What's that noise? What's going on?
Oh shit!
Freeze, filth. You're under arrest.
Qu'est-ce que c'est que ce bordel? Falcon, kick! Merde, je croyais que c'était les stripteasers. Ah. Ah, t'étais obligé de te mettre sur la fontaine, ok. Policier et showman. Hein. Merde. Bon, pour le moment, c'est la meilleure enquête. Hein.
You committed a crime, and now I have to free you, kiss your hand, and apologize for the inconvenience. Your Grace.
I did tell you that Mr. Vogel and I were innocent. I emphasized it in my statement.
Your statement? Thanks to some bigwigs who work for the so-called good of the country by releasing fleas like you. Thank God we have Vogel in this letter. Once I get to that goldfish, I'll...
Bigwig? Oh, my wretched brother Mycroft and his long nose.
Wait, did you say Mycroft? Mycroft Holmes? Are you the youngest son of Violet Holmes, rest her soul?
You knew my mother?
Not personally, no. Not exactly. I was working on the paperwork for that case.
Would you happen to remember anything of the events?
Well, I didn't make the inquiry, but I remember seeing some notes. Why?
Perhaps we can negotiate. I could be quite useful.
Huh. Got you hooked, right? You know what? Stark and the others think they're the smartest here, thanks to you. Let me get this straight. Are you listening to me, lad?
I'm all ears.
Take this case. Report to me only, to Constable Harvey Oswald. I'll leave everything I have on this table. Find the murderer. Be a real copper. Question the suspects, make them sing, give me something substantial.
And if Mr. Vogel is not a suspect?
If he's innocent, then you can take your favourite degenerate away from here. If you slip or mess with the evidence, then trust me, your brother won't save you from my bludgeon. Meanwhile, I'll be checking the archive for you. If anybody asks, then you're a consulting detective.
Let's make a start then, partner.
I'm glad we managed to get the scoop before the raid.
Bon. Alors, je sous-signais Santos Pinchetti, atteste de mon témoignage signalant un meurtre suspect au manoir Manchos dans le Grand Sarret. Alors que la maisonnée s'affairait aux préparatifs de la fête, j'ai entendu des bruits terribles provenant de la salle de l'hôtel qui était fermée. Immédiatement, j'ai pensé à un sacrifice de quelqu'un, de quelque être vivant équestré par courte Mancho. En personne venait d'avoir lieu. Je voyais déjà le sang sur les murs, des symboles étranges, un poignard dans le cœur. À l'instant où j'ai retrouvé l'usage de mes facultés, je me suis précipité au poste de police afin d'y rapporter mes observations. La police a réagi à la déposition en envoyant une patrouille tandis que le témoin a quitté le poste pour rentrer chez lui. Oh, c'est le majordome qui a tout qui a poucave. Ok. Ça fait pas de lui un innocent, mais... Le détenteur de ces tickets est autorisé à examiner toutes les preuves relatives à l'affaire numéro 6260. À la suite des signalements donnés par un témoin ayant assisté au rituel satanique et qui aurait en outre découvert un corps, la descente sur le manoir Manchos a été autorisée. Celle-ci a entraîné l'arrestation de plusieurs suspects et la dispersion du groupe d'individus portant un masque et robe surpris au milieu d'actes grossièrement indécents et contre nature. Quand la victime a été retrouvée étendue sur un hôtel avec une blessure au couteau au niveau de la poitrine, les agents de police ont identifié le mort. Fabio, un artiste de charme local âgé de 20 ans. Suspect appréhendé, Werner Vogel. Vogel avait sur sa personne une lettre de caractère injurieux écrite par la victime. Prétend avoir trouvé le corps, monsieur Vogel est réputé pour sa personnalité excentrique. Sherlock Holmes possédait l'arme du crime, une dague imprégnée de sang de la victime ainsi que d'autres objets d'intérêt. Monsieur Holmes a été convié à la soirée par le principal suspect, Werner Vogel, a priori dans le but d'entraver l'enquête officielle. Pour le moment, Vogel, je pense qu'il est innocent. Manchos, le propriétaire du manoir et organisateur de la soirée satanique, a payé les victimes pour participer au rituel, avait accès à la scène du crime. Battista, la partenaire de Fabio et autres participants du rituel, a essayé de s'échapper et résister lors de l'arrestation. Possédait un livre contenant une description du rituel exécuté dans la salle de l'hôtel. Les invités ont été placés en détention provisoire pour un interrogatoire approfondi.
Back on track to solve the case.
Bon, alors déjà, on va enlever cette tenue. Ah merde.
I can't go back to prison. Look, I found Werner.
Ah, lui, ça doit être Kurt. Là, ça doit être Battista. Alors, déjà, pas les mentales. Kitty est un suspect qui doit être arrêté et interrogé. Il possédait une clé détail qui le mine à sa déposition. Ouais, en plus, tiens. Alors... Santos est un suspect...
Good day, Mr. Manchios. I am Constable Oswald's partner in this investigation.
Be quick and gentle. Some of your colleagues are untrained boors. Although I don't mind meeting young officers. The new blood here.
If you cooperate in finding Fabio's murderer, there will be no need to meet with the Boers again.
That voice. Werner's friend? You're the policeman. What a disappointment.
Only an undercover agent can scour a ditch full of deviants. I am a consulting detective, although I'm capable of replacing the entire department through my consultations.
Sharp-tongued, I like it. May I presume this tongue will get us out of this trouble? I would be so indebted and glad to repay you.
Nothing's changed. I'm looking for the murderer. That's the only way to get us out of trouble.
But it shouldn't take much time, correct? We're all busy after all.
I need to examine you first.
Porte du maquillage. Irritation due à la teinture. Calvitie naissante. Ah ah. Chaussures très chères. Pointillé sur la propreté dissimule son âge. Manchos est extrêmement riche, excentrique et frivole. Il est l'organisateur des soirées réservées à l'élite cordonnaise. Il est le propriétaire du manoir Manchio. Il passe ses journées à côtoyer d'autres nantis dans son genre. Toutefois, sa sociabilité a fait de lui un homme omnibulé par la propreté. Il se teint les cheveux pour révéler son apparence. Il utilise tant de produits chimiques pour se faire sa toilette que sa peau s'en voit sérieusement abîmée. Riche, excentrique et frivole, organisateur, Toutefois, Monsieur Manchos désire cacher son âge véritable aux plus jeunes hôtes de ses soirées. Son vieillissement l'obsède à tel point qu'il porte du maquillage et se teint les cheveux pour assurer quelques années. Ça peut être les deux, hein. Franchement... Après, obnubilé, ouais, obnubilé par la propreté, à part le savon sous les ongles, c'est trop vite laver les mains. Enfin, ça veut rien dire quoi. Ok, en ce temps-là, l'hygiène c'était pas ouf, mais si le mec, juste parce qu'il a du savon sous les ongles, il est obnubilé par la propreté, on dit long quoi. Après, il a pas l'air non plus de. Bah, il a pas l'air non plus de vouloir cacher son âge. Enfin, il est pas en mode how do you do fellow kids. Ouais, peut-être pointillé sur la propreté.
You are so focused on cleanliness that these products are severely damaging your skin.
I would laugh at you. Ha! If only my cheeks didn't hurt. Not exactly. I try to take care of my body. A young man who has yet to confront his own aging couldn't hope to understand.
These chemicals are quite literally melting your face.
Ah, the price of beauty.
Ouais, je sais pas si j'avais vraiment raison ou tort.
Such a methodical man who cares for his body but misses the soap under his fingernails. Are you so impatient or perhaps even impulsive?
I wouldn't call myself that. Silly little details. If I missed it, it wasn't important. Or rather, it was less important than who or what I was focused on.
What was Fabio like? His personality, his habits? Anything you can tell me?
He was the brightest star of my parties. Young, magnetic, and full of energy. I don't even want to mention his beauty. Otherwise, I'll be sobbing.
An expensive champion, I imagine.
His performances were flawless. He deserved his payment. Do you think he was murdered because of money?
Possibly. What about the other guests? Were they used
Bah, écoute, moi, ça
to
va.
opening
Ça
their
va, ça
wallets
va.
as well?
I wouldn't restrict my guests from anything. I'm sure Fabio received a few coins from others for his
On était invité à une soirée lubrique, malheureusement. On a trouvé un cadavre. Et les flics sont pointés, ils ont tout fait foirer. Écoutez. Ils ont tué Fabio.
Mr. Vogel told me a little about your parties, but I would like to know more directly from you.
I'm all yours, Sherlock. You have me arrested and locked here with you alone.
Why did you invite Mr. Vogel as
Et
your
le mec en face de moi veut
social
clairement mon
He's a
cul.
pretty
Hein.
fellow. He's capable of surprising the public. He has a talent for saying words that no one else would wish to either say or hear.
I suppose I can't argue with that.
He is a free addition to the eccentricity of the party, which is fine by me, as long as it enhances my party.
I'd like to know who you usually invite to your parties.
Free minds who are able to leave reality for an evening, who can taste forbidden fruit without prejudice. There is nothing that quite spices up life like these parties, assuming one is old enough and has worked many years for the good of one's country.
Oh, all true labourers, I see.
Fournir des preuves, je vais peut-être attendre d'interroger tout le monde.
I appreciate your cooperation, Mr. Manchios. Wait just a moment, I have something to check.
Alors, suspect numéro 2. Métis.
I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm helping Constable Oswald. You are Matista, Fabio's friend.
This body, yes, it's Matista. But it's a mere shell that will die someday. Just like Fabio.
Please accept my condolences for your friend.
Thank you.
I'm just here to ask questions and find Fabio's murderer.
It will not bring Fabio back.
Petite inspection, ma petite dame. Hématome gorgé de sang récemment infligé. Oula. Tatouage occulte primitif, se tatoue elle-même. Ça se voit. Ongle rongé, nerveuse. Ah, on a un point commun. Entaille vieille et récente, infligée à elle-même. Marque de brûlure marquée au fer chaud. Ah, comme Fabio, il avait la même. Trace de chaîne vieille et à peine visible. Eh bien, alors, Matista, l'artiste de charme et partenaire de Fabio, a connu une vie difficile. Devenue esclave et marquée en tant que telle, alors qu'elle n'était encore qu'une enfant, elle fit la rencontre de Fabio au cours de ses années de servitude, ce qui explique pourquoi celui-ci porte la même stigmate. Les cicatrices sont le produit de l'asservissement qu'elle subit à l'adolescence. Aujourd'hui encore, ces terribles souvenirs continuent de la hanter. Porte un intérêt véritable au mysticisme, comme en témoignent les tatouages aux symboles occultes qui parsèment son corps. Matista s'efforce de surmonter son passé, sa vie d'artiste, de charme, pour lui offrir une chance de gagner de l'argent pour elle-même. Artiste de charme, partenaire de Fabio, devenu esclave, fit la rencontre de Fabio, ses vies cicatrices sont le produit d'un asservissement qu'elle a subi à l'adolescence. Elle semble avoir adopté une approche pragmatique à l'égard de son corps après tant d'années de sévices. Elle se vend aux invités qui disposent d'elle selon un bon vouloir. Il n'existe aucune limite qu'elle craint de dépasser, enfin Matista a tatoué son corps en divers endroits. Bah, dissocier de son corps, c'est le premier truc qui me vient, parce que sa première phrase c'était oui, Matista c'est le nom de ce corps, mais c'est une coquille vide. Bon. Se punit pour son passé. Moi j'aurais dit dissocier de son corps.
You have both old and new scars. Some from the time when you were a slave with Fabio. Other scars have a different origin. The guests pay good money to torment you?
I am skilled in giving pleasure, but I don't participate in such practices.
I thought your body was...
For sale? It's true. Many unwanted things were done to my body. And the pain helped me to discover...
Occult deities? Yes, the tattoo speaks loudly of it.
Yes. Your gods abandoned me, and the ones I favor now are more protective of me.
How did you escape?
Something happened. One night the master fell down the stairs. I made him fall, and he died. We ran away that day. We managed to get on a ship and traveled here, to Gordona. Fabio and I started a new life here. It was very hard at first, but it became better with time. Until today.
The bruises on your neck are not self-inflicted. Someone else made them.
Some guests can't contain themselves. They even bite, sometimes.
Ok. Alors, palais mental. Oh putain, oh là, il y a plein de trucs. Hop, hop. Mancho s'est soigneusement préparé pour la soirée de débauche qu'il comptait passer. Les invités ont blessé Matista. Il présente des hématomes résultant de ses altercations brutales avec les invités lors de la soirée. Mancho s'est préparé pour la débauche et la veille après le meurtre. Pour le moment c'est un peu une accusation, on va rester là-dessus. Fabio a blessé Matista, lors de l'altercation dans le fumoir, il a blessé Matista, les invités ont blessé Matista. Alors... tac.
Can I ask you a question?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
Ici il n'y a personne. Non plus. Alors, vos bols. Vogel.
Werner, are you all right?
Oh, yes. Everything's fine. In fact, it's something of a family reunion. My brother spent quite some time in this place himself.
You should not be here. I told the police everything I knew, but they refused to let you go. They require proof to free you.
Ha! What did you expect? The mighty Sherlock Holmes swans in, tells the officers what to think, and the world obeys?
Of course not. Anyway, I struck a deal with the constable, and I've got a free hand in the investigation. I find proof to solve the case for him. He obtains files about my mother's death for me.
Well done. If one has the power or will and can act, then one must. I wonder, suppose you couldn't get the proof to your truth. Would you tell a lie to the guard that enabled my freedom, knowing my innocence? Would that not be just?
Non.
There are lines I will not cross, Werner. I will do my best to secure your release, but with proof, not deception.
Really? How many white lies have you told on this island? Why not for me? Why not another?
That is absurd. I can resolve this without compromises. Do not give up hope.
Alors, carte. Enquête policière.
I'm not supposed to know anything about this. I can't follow you here. I can't follow you here. I'm not supposed to know anything about this. I can't follow you here. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I can't follow you here.
Okay.
I can't follow you here. I can't follow you here.
Bon, pour le moment, ça sert à rien, quoi.
Let me...
Alors, les Kurt avaient Moncho, ça peut vous faire des boutons de manchette à Fabio. Une note sur Serpil commence à sortir, certains sites lui donnent des notes parfaites. Donc, comme JBC donne de très bonnes notes, mais comme par hasard, tu sens que d'un coup, ils sont devenus très pointilleux pour trouver des soucis. Ça m'intéresse pas du tout, moi, Starfield. Hein.
You bought an expensive pair of cufflinks for Fabio. Were they his price? Or were they a tip for an exclusive show?
It was pure business. Fabio escorted me a few times. I was merely showing my gratitude.
This pair cost a small fortune. You must be extremely grateful then. Tell me more.
You've thrust a knife in an exposed nerve, Sherlock. Yes, he was my protege and my beacon also. With my experience and his beauty, we could have achieved anything. I had faith in him. I would have made him.
Okay.
I appreciate...
Disposition du témoin. Ponto est un suspect. Il était épris de Fabio. Ah oui, largement, oui. Hello Aro, comment ça va? Alors attends, est-ce que je peux parler d'autre chose avec lui?
That's not something I know much about. That's not something I know much about. You'd better ask someone else.
Moi,
I've no
non.
idea about that. I've no idea about that. That's not something I know much about. I've
Bon,
no
je vais tout
idea
faire.
about that. You'd better ask someone else.
Do you have any
Allez, hop.
idea who tipped off the police to raid your mansion, Mr. Manchios?
Of course. It was you. I could even say you Sherlocked me in here.
A good guess, but the wrong one. The fellow who did that was Mr. Pinchetti, your major domo.
What? Santos?
Et ouais, ton majordome t'a vendu, mon gars.
If he's not the murderer
Bon, écoute, moi
himself,
ça va. Vivement les vacances, là, je suis en vacances fin de semaine, j'en peux plus. J'en peux plus.
Not a very eloquent choice of words.
Puis là, dans le jeu, on était conviés à une soirée
Make him talk, Sherlock.
à la Eyes Wide Shut.
More about the murder than he has told the
Malheureusement, il y avait un cadavre et la police a fait chier. Alors, ticket de guichet de preuve et Santos est un suspect. Alors.
I can't wrap my head around such a tragedy at my party. I can't wrap my head around such a tragedy at my party.
I'm not supposed to know anything about this.
I have learned who told the police about the crime.
Ça fait un moment qu'il me donne envie Starfield, donc je vais sans doute y jouer. D'accord. Ah non, moi ça me...
He cleans up after you?
Well, then he does his job perfectly. All but invisible. I couldn't tell you the first thing about
J'ai
him.
tellement de jus à faire, mon pauvre. Merde. Ah! Non. Allez, hop. Voilà. Alors, ticket nanana. Alors, on va peut-être partir d'ici. J'ai l'impression d'être Batman avec tout ça. Alors, elle était bonne la soirée?
May I ask for your assistance?
I would never deny you, sir, but I know nothing about this.
Alors.
Did you hear Basilio Copello is in jail? A dead body was found in his showroom.
Oh. Comptez-moi les potins. Ma curiosité a été piquée par la rumeur parlant de la restauration de Basilio Copello, propriétaire de la célèbre enseigne de sécurité Armour Copello. La situation est très particulière. Un homme, Niccolo Detti, a été retrouvé mort à l'intérieur d'un coffre situé dans la boutique de Basilio. Le dernier affirme être innocent, mais les preuves semblent jouer à sa défaveur. Il est actuellement détenu dans une des cellules du poste de police. Ah mais c'est une autre affaire ça. Oh, oh. Monsieur, bonjour.
Good night. Your ticket, please, if you want me to help you.
Mon ticket, là.
I'd like to check the evidence from this case.
And who are you?
Oswald sent me. I'm a consulting detective.
His partner, then? Let me see. Ah, a ritual murder.
Ah oui, toi t'as vu tes vacances en juillet. Moi mes dernières c'est en avril. Et entre deux, on a fait plein de choses au magasin et je suis complètement crevé. Alors. 9! Oh putain! Allez, let's go.
An emergency kit for boredom.
La lettre qui figurait parmi les preuves à charge de Vogel. As-tu perdu la raison? Tu n'es pas capable de contrôler ton propre ressentiment, en tout cas pas en ma présence. Quant à moi, je ne peux pas me permettre d'ignorer ce genre de comportement. Je me lie, m'entretiens et me divertis avec qui bon me semble. Je ne suis pas une autre Matista. Tu me payes, mais tu ne m'as pas acheté. Naturellement, je compte garder tous tes dons généreux, même s'ils pardonnent à peine ton dernier accès abject comme il l'était. Je quitte, mais Matista, elle, restera encore ici.
Not the time for privacy. Werner's personal sketchbook.
Ah oui, d'accord, donc à chaque suspect, il y a... Alors, une bague.
It's a miracle this ruby hasn't tempted anyone. All the keys of the mansion on one golden ring. A heavily perfumed handkerchief with the initials KM in the corner. A handcrafted charm that contains hair and nail clippings. Her key to the altar room.
Le pouvoir de l'amour, le sang et mandrake.
That's not for bedtime reading. This ex libris belongs to Manchios Library.
Au début, j'avais zéro intérêt. Le Starfleet direct m'a donné vraiment envie. Donc, vivement 2h du matin, bien sûr, je dormirai à ce moment-là. Alors, la police a trouvé ce livre occulte dans le sac de Matista lors de son arrestation. Selon l'ex-libris, le tome en question a été pris dans la collection de Monsieur Manchios. Il renferme des illustrations ainsi que des descriptions détaillant un rituel similaire à celui observé sur la scène du crime. Il paraît le corps nu d'un être bien-aimé ayant récemment péri. Tracez les symboles de Mars et de Vénus pour amplifier le pouvoir qui réside en vous et invoquer les forces des natures masculines et féminines. Transpercez-lui le cœur à l'aide d'une dague dorée afin de vous débarrasser du sang qui ne vous aime point. Tracez un symbole représentant votre amour. En attendant la résurrection, récitez le charme.
The book describes a ritual similar to the one performed in the altar room. Thank you, officer.
Matista, là, va falloir qu'on parle, ma grande. Parce que... bon. Et puis on va aussi parler à Vogel, là, parce que... En tout cas, eux, ils ont l'air de bien s'amuser.
Could you help me?
Excuse me? What? I'm not sure I know.
Alors, attends, c'était par où? Tac. Matista.
This book, The Power of Love, Blood and Mandrake, what do you hope to achieve?
To learn more about the invisible strengths that govern us. Occultism is real. The master who fell that night when Fabio and I escaped, I made him fall. I cast a spell on him and it worked.
Or was it a coincidence?
The universe is rarely so lazy.
If you say so.
I've nothing to say.
This is the letter the police found in Mr. Vogel's pocket. Fabio wrote it. Do you know anything about it?
I don't. Although I can feel Fabio's energy. It's there, but it refuses to let me analyze it.
Do you practice occult rituals?
For protection? For fortune? To wash away the ugliness of the world? Sometimes to survive. I have the gift, and I'm learning to use it better.
Did you use your gift on Fabio?
I only used white magic. Love charms lately. Fabio became so distant. I just wanted him to be with me, but I suppose I'm not as skilled.
Après, pour le moment, elle fait un peu la coupable idéale. Hein. La fille qui fait des trucs occultes.
I know I can handle the news.
Alors, Vogel, c'est quoi cette lettre là-haut? Qu'est-ce que c'est que ces conneries?
I can't follow you here. So, the police found a letter from Fabio in your pocket.
I cannot tell if it was truly in my pocket at all. Perhaps it was placed there later.
Well, that is one hypothesis. If it were true, then how did it get there?
No clue. But this night has been rather eccentric. Such a detail could have easily eluded me.
Indeed. Do you recall reading it?
I can't remember that either. But I tend to respect privacy. Reading others' personal notes is not one of my perversities. The air here is rather refreshing. I'd even recommend that some of my friends visit the place.
Do you recognize this book? Could Matista have borrowed it from your library?
She didn't ask me. How ungrateful.
The things described in the book were inspiration for the rituals you performed?
Do you really believe that blood, symbols, and incantations can resurrect the dead? They are just eerie tales with a mix of occultism and voodoo. My rituals are a stage to show some of the forbidden pleasures.
I've read this letter from Fabio. It had no addressee, but it was found in Mr. Vogel's pocket.
Werner? Strange. I didn't think the two of them corresponded.
I'm sure there is some explanation. Would you care to read it?
Call me superstitious, but I don't care to read a letter from a dead man.
Alors. Ok, Santos est un suspect. Bon, faut qu'on trouve ce connard de Santos. Hein. Lettre courroucée de Fabio. Il n'y a absolument rien. Étudier le potentiel de Matista sur Fabio. Et peut-être exécuter le rituel sur Fabio dans le but de reviver l'amour que ce dernier lui portait jadis. Quand même un beau bordel cette enquête. Hein. Lettre de Fabio. Alors Oswald, il est dans les archives. Bon, je pense que je vais garder ce costume jusqu'à la fin de l'enquête parce que franchement c'est très drôle. Les archives sont là.
I don't think I can tell you anything about this.
Oh merde, Santos est un suspect. Il est... là.
Have you considered Mr. Santos Pinchetti as a suspect?
The snitch? Have you seen him? I mean, my breath could knock him down. What's so special about him?
As a major domo, he has keys that open all the rooms, including the one to the crime scene. Could have testified only to circumvent suspicion, don't you think? We need to question him.
Right. I'll send our men to fetch him. Stay here. They brought him in, Mr. Holmes. Here's the key to interrogation room number 7. Mr. Pinchetti didn't even resist, our men said.
Thank you.
You can question Mr. Pinchetti in the interrogation room.
Parfait, parfait, parfait. Alors, numéro 7. Alors... là. Il est pas là. Il est pas là.
This area is restricted.
Ok. Non, il est pas là. Il est pas là. Là c'est Matista. Là c'est Kurt. Ah.
Mr. Pinchetti, a pleasure to meet you. I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm helping Constable Oswald.
I've already told him everything I know. I'm only a witness, sir. Everything's in my report.
And I've read it. You forgot to mention that you hold the keys to the room where Fabio was found. I need only to find if the crime was intentional.
But I need to return to my duties.
I doubt the house will fall without you, Mr. Pinchetti. Just be still for a few seconds.
Surtout quand le proprio est légèrement arrêté pour meurtre. Alors... accommodé plusieurs fois. Psoriasis ou allergie. D'un plus d'une fois. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça? Alors, Santos Pinchetti est l'intendant du manoir Manchio. Mais qu'il soit au sommet de la hiérarchie établie dans la maisonnée, il semble pauvre. En dépit de l'argent qu'il possède, M. Pinchetti limite ses dépenses à outrance. Une couche de maquillage bon marché dissimule les imperfections de son corps. Souhaitant projeter l'image d'un homme moderne, il a aussi teint son costume à plusieurs reprises. Pour économiser davantage, le majordome a visiblement rapiécé lui-même une multitude de trous parsemant son habit. Pinchetti est l'intendant du manoir, nanana, son corps porte des signes de psoriasis. Le Pinchetti cache sa peau rongée sous plusieurs couches de maquillage. Le costume du majordome comporte plusieurs trous qui ont été rapiécés ou cousus. Ce Pinchetti a notamment teint son habit dans l'espoir de lui redonner un nouveau souffle. Il parle pas du tout de la marche de sang. Hein. Bon alors, est-ce qu'il est avare ou pauvre? J'aurais plus dit pauvre. Hein. Allez, on va dire que c'est un pauvre.
You are the majordomo of a rich mansion, and you seem barely able to afford decent clothing. You hide under heavy makeup a skin disease that might be treated with more onerous but less harmful means. Do you have money troubles?
I do not have a lot of means. The pay is below what you might expect.
But you could easily change your job if your employer does not meet your elementary needs.
One can change his employer, that is true.
And the blood on your shoe, where does that come from?
I don't actually know. Perhaps from a guest?
Oui, parce que tout le monde... Oh, c'est un petit peu de sang sous ma chaussure. Ouais, c'est bon. Oh là là. Incroyable.
Did you know Fabio?
Not personally. He was a frequent guest, and cleaning the mess after his performances was tedious. Mr. Manchios always had a role for him, and mainly the leading one. The parties were always Fabio-centric.
And Batista? Was she as popular as her partner?
Don't tell her I said this, but I do not think so. Mr. Manchios hired her only because Fabio refused to work without her. Mr. Manchios used to see her as a worker. She was tasked with entertaining the guests, unlike Fabio, who could pick and choose.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Chitty n'a pas remarqué le sang. Tâche accidentelle, il a peut-être marché par accident dans le sang au moment de découvrir la scène du crime. Ce qui est vrai aussi. Peut être ça. Alors.
Please let me out.
Ah, j'avais pas vu ces affaires.
I recognize the key from the altar room among these.
Un bref message joint au testament, on peut lire: Santos, mollusque plein d'espoir que tu es. Me supplie de t'inclure dans mon testament alors je me suis exécuté. Voici donc la dernière révision du document en question, Kurt. Texte du testament lui-même en dessous du message. Santo Pinchetti, le majordome du manoir Manchos, recevra un pot de cire à moustache ainsi qu'une lampe de sel, legs par lequel se rappela toujours son employeur attentif, Kurt Manchios. Ah ouais. C'était un super l'héritage quoi. Un pot de cire à moustache et une lampe de sel. Wouh.
Mr. Manchios says that you begged him to be included in the heritage. Isn't that a little extreme, even for a majordomo?
He's not only my employer, he's my uncle.
Ah,
and I'm his next of kin.
C'est son nom.
The only one. Mr. Manchios flatly refuses to pay a family member. All I have to do is repay his so-called love, cleaning up the filth after perverts and decadents. He's imprisoned me. The best I can hope for is a new broom. That's why I wanted to have my part of the inheritance.
Is it that bad? You have a roof above your head, a salary, and the status of a majordomo.
For God's sake. I'm forced to dye and stitch my threadbare clothes, and the holes in my shoes are painful. I'm ashamed every time a guest looks at me closely.
Why do you think your uncle treats you this way?
My mother, my uncle's sister, had me illegitimately. She died, and I was given the surname of one of the maids.
But you are entitled to some of the money that belongs to your family.
He thinks not. I was not responsible for my mother's death. I work hard, and he pays me nothing. I feed on the leftovers. While he wastes our estate's property on decadent parties, he paid Fabio handsomely and showered him with expensive gifts for their disgusting relationship.
Mm-hmm. Alors comme ça on se prend pour l'oncle Werner. On traite Santos Potter comme de la merde. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça?
I've read the letter about your will. A harsh method of ridiculing Santos. I doubt he will use mustache wax when he wears no mustache to begin.
Where did you get it? Is the slug here? Tell him I shouldn't have to provide for him. He's a grown man who shouldn't sit on his uncle's neck. He conceives himself as my only heir.
And who is he to you?
He's a leech on my aging body. He has only added problems to my life since the death of his mother.
I fail to see why you made him your major domo.
He needed to know his place, so I taught him.
Waouh, putain, c'est quand même un beau fils de pute. Hein. Je veux pas parler mal, mais quand même. Alors, lettre de Fabio. Ah oui, il faut que je... Ouais, peut-être que je parle de la lettre de Fabio à Santos.
Please let me out.
Ah non.
I have reason to believe that the intended recipient of the incriminating letter may have been Kurt Manch.
Well, that makes sense. Too bad I can't remember how I came to possess it. Though I did spend quite some time with Mr. Manchios during the party.
Unfortunately, even with an answer, that may still not be enough to clear you with the police. But fear not, I will persevere.
I hope your attempt to put things straight will make up for...
You being on a bender?
Touché.
Matista, est-ce que t'as un truc à dire?
Could Fabio have written this letter to Kurt Mancho?
Oh. That could be. I never thought Mr. Manchios could make Fabio that angry, though.
What do you mean?
Well, Fabio wanted to disassociate from Mr. Manchios. Clients who are in love are both a blessing and a curse.
But Fabio was here tonight.
Money. In our line of work, we can't afford to turn down clients who pay as well as Kurt Manchios.
Was Fabio afraid of Mr. Manchios?
Not at all. The old toad wouldn't dare to do more than...
Ce vieux crapaud. Oh, on parle pas mal.
Talk can be forgotten, and touching washed away.
Hmm.
Please let me out.
There is undeniable evidence that you were the original recipient of this letter.
What are you talking about? Is it addressed to me?
Your protege wanted a fresh start, it seems. This is sufficient to charge you.
Me? Hurt my star? Are you insane that you would accuse me of such a thing?
He did not consider himself as yours. Since you deny everything, let's move on. Do you have any idea as to how the letter could have ended up in Mr. Vogel's pocket?
You were the detective. Perhaps he took it from Fabio. Werner was a little high.
Alors, pas les mentales. Il voulait couper les ponts avec Kurt. Les manchots, un des deux membres. Alors, il a pris la lettre lui-même alors qu'il était dans un état second engendré par des substances diverses. Il a glissé la lettre dans la poche de Vogel afin d'attirer les soupçons sur lui. Ah, peut-être, peut-être. Alors attends, oula, ça commence à... Hop. Provoquer en Kurt un insondable chagrin. Alors attends, parce que j'ai pas eu, je pense, toutes les preuves ou tout ce qu'il faut. Je préfère tout terminer avant que... Alors...
I can't wrap my head around such a tragedy at my party.
I know I can handle the news.
Are you done yet? Can I leave?
Accusé. Oh non, 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 surtout pas.
Thank you.
Pas surtout pas. Alors, peut-être parler à Oswald. Peut-être que Oswald peut me...
I've nothing to say about this.
This letter proves nothing. Fabio wrote it to Mr. Manchios. It's time to free Mr. Vogel.
Do you really think I'm that naive? I need proof, not words from his friend.
Very well. Mr. Pinchetti told me that Mr. Manchios was lavishing Fabio with expensive and eccentric gifts. The letter mentions rich rewards and attempts to buy Fabio with them. It was written to Mr. Manchios. Who else was showering Fabio with luxuries to buy him? It doesn't fit Mr. Vogel's character.
Look here. We had a deal. Give me the murderer and then take your friend with you. I won't budge otherwise.
Well, fine, but you're just wasting time.
Ok, et enquête policière.
Continue our investigation while I look for the papers.
Par contre, je sais pas trop. Est-ce que dans ma cellule j'avais oublié quelque chose?
I can't go back to prison. I can't go back to prison.
Mais t'es un ami imaginaire. Oh, oui. Alors. Manchio, ouais. Ou Matista. J'aimerais bien finir ça en fait. Là pour le moment, à part Vogel, on savait que c'était pas lui le coupable, les trois autres. Même si mes doutes se mettent plus sur entre Matista et Kurt machin là.
Thank you.
I know you can untangle this mess.
Alors si par exemple je dis que c'est elle, la popularité croissante et les ambitions de Fabio effrayait Matista, elle désirait le garder à ses côtés aussi longtemps que possible en utilisant recours. Matista a exécuté un rituel d'amour au cours duquel elle a tué Fabio. On dit que c'est Pinchetti. Alors, Manchio. Des années durant, Fabio jouait avec le cœur de Manchio et a abusé de l'intérêt qu'il lui portait. Quand Manchio a essuyé un énième refus de l'éphèbe, je ne sais même pas que c'était un mot, il a assassiné et mis en scène un rituel d'amour pour ne pas éveiller les soupçons. Un crime passionnel, un prédateur sexuel, ouais. Et Pinchetti, là... On l'accuse lui. Il travaille pour son nom depuis des années et brinque son héritage, hostilité et illumination devant une chose en poussé Sancho à tuer Fabio et criminer son oncle avec Manchio en prison puis il était la seule héritier. Lui franchement j'ai un gros doute. Parce que dans les preuves, là, qu'est-ce qu'on... Ah, merde! Il y a la lettre. Gueule estime qu'il est possible que ça... Donc ça c'est carrément une lettre pour Manchio. Pouvoir de l'amour. Il a été pris dans la collection de Manchio. Donc Manchio et Matista, les deux, pouvaient faire le rituel. Bon, on va dire que le majordome, on va l'écarter. Je pense pas que ce soit lui. Qu'il aurait pas... Il connaît pas trop la mise en scène, il n'est pas... Donc je vais écarter le majordome là, Santos. C'est pas facile. Ouais, là c'est pas facile entre les deux. Un artiste de charme ainsi que l'ami Fabio a possédé une clé. Okay. Merde. Oh. Ancien esclave partage un Fabio. Possède intelligemment sur sa personne. Détenait un livre occulte renfermant une description de rituels similaires. Il a fait mention de magie blanche qu'elle aurait utilisé pour ramener Fabio à la vie. Bouton de manchette offert à Fabio. C'est quelqu'un qui se serait déguisé. Il est extrêmement riche. Ah, et la personne... Quand on était arrivé dans la salle, on avait vu que quelqu'un avait mis une robe. Et là, il n'y a que Manchio qui a une robe. Il n'y a que Manchio qui a mis qui a une robe là. Parce qu'on a remarqué que quelqu'un avait pris une robe pour remplacer celle qui était tachée de sang. Et il n'y a que Manchio qui a une robe. Donc moi je partirais sur lui. Hein. En plus, Fabio il a été assommé dans le fumoir. Donc il aurait fallu traîner son corps, le foutre sur l'autel. Est-ce que Matista a assez de force physique pour faire tout ça? Alors, je dis pas ça parce que c'est une femme, mais bon, voilà. Elle est assez jeune. Manchio, il est assez... Il est un peu plus vieux, il est... Une femme. Non mais voilà, faut se poser des questions. Parce qu'il connaissait le rituel. Et il aurait pu faire la mise en scène du rituel pour mettre les soupçons sur Matista. La personne, enfin le suspect avait changé de robe. Et le seul qui porte une robe de costume, on va dire, c'est Manchio. Il a le mobile de... il aimait le Fabio plus que de raison. Le Fabio l'a envoyé chier avec la lettre. Moi j'ai envie de te dire, Manchio, il avait en plus la clé de la salle. Bon, ils étaient plusieurs à avoir la clé, mais il fait partie des suspects. Il paraît que la victime a tenté de couvrir une marque d'esclave. C'est pas ça parce que c'est une chose, si parce que c'est pas un homme. La précision est importante. Alors, le meurtrier a attaqué Fabio dans le fumoir, le frappant à la tête avec une bouteille de vin. L'assaillant s'est ensuite précipité vers la porte de la salle de l'hôtel pour le verrouiller de l'intérieur, utilisant pour se faire une clé qui était déjà en sa possession. Le coupable a alors traîné Fabio mourant jusqu'à l'hôtel avant de le poignarder. Il a caché les habits. Ouais, voilà. Il a caché les habits ensanglantés dans la vieille garde-robe. Il a nettoyé le sang sur sa personne. Et on avait remarqué sur Manchio que c'était trop vite laver les mains. La propreté, c'était un de ses traits de sa personnalité. Non, mais c'est lui en fait. C'est pas à chier, c'est lui. Ouais. Alors, je vais juste vérifier pour ça, là, enquête policière. Est-ce que j'ai quelque chose d'autre à récupérer ou non? Juste vérifier ça. Mais non, non, c'est Manchio, c'est le propriétaire. C'est lui qui l'a buté. J'ai pas envie d'y passer 20 ans. Juste voir si... Tac. Je vais juste voir... Ouais. Comment ça s'appelle? Enquête policière. Alors je regarde juste si enquête policière... Bon, de toute façon, je vois pas d'autre quelle autre preuve ça pourrait apporter d'autre. Le mec, il est coupable, enfin en tôle, quoi. Si je l'accuse... Si j'accuse ce connard, là. Il est où? Là. J'accuse Émile Zola
The murder
style.
of Fabio did not have a ritual purpose, Mr. Manchios. It was staged by a man who wished to distract the investigation.
That might be true. That poor girl Matista wouldn't dare to kill the only man who cared for her. So, Santos.
Mr. Pinchetti snatched at the chance to solve his problems.
Ungrateful little scum. Will he be executed?
But what for? He informed the police as to the crime, that was all. He couldn't stage the ritual, but he found the body, I believe.
I can't believe it. Why did Werner do it?
Mr. Vogel. He had no reason, and he won't be a scapegoat as you planned. You put Fabio's letter in his pocket when he was intoxicated, didn't you?
You can't be serious.
We can very often deduce someone's life by their shoes, or their fingernails. You are a meticulous person, but this murder was fairly traumatic and filthy. After you stabbed Fabio, you were covered in blood. You panicked and neglected to rinse the soap from under your fingernails. The devil is in the details, Mr. Manchios.
Nonsense. I missed it simply because of the busy schedule of the party.
Of course, a staged murder was certainly not planned. You're at the twilight of your life. You have no partner.
Oh, c'est horrible cette phrase. Vous êtes au crépuscule de votre vie.
However, for one man, that was Fabio. You loved him. That is,
Un jour, un vieux Olivier vous fait chier. Oui, bah de toute façon, toi t'es au crépuscule de ta vie.
But he was also a free mind, was he not? He turned his back on you. Quite unjust. Love, so cruel and painful, and Fabio, with his words and deeds, made you feel the more wretched. So you killed him.
You must surely perceive that my sensitive nature wouldn't allow me to hurt anyone.
You staged the murder as a satanic ritual. It was easy for you, since you were the one who wrote the scenarios for the parties. It was your way of avoiding suspicion. A respectable man in his 60s,
early 60s,
who hosts the cream of Cordona's society, cannot possibly be a murderer. But the guests who behave like animals in his mansion, of course, one of them could have killed Fabio.
I did oversee a few of the rituals, but I did not stage Fabio's death.
Crime passionnel ou prémédité? Ah, plutôt un crime passionnel.
Fabio played with your feelings. That was painful to realize. You spent so much time and effort to be with Fabio, but he didn't respond in the way that you would have liked. You wanted to be loved, but Fabio shattered your dreams. In the smoking lounge, he teased and mocked you. He wanted you to suffer by offering himself to others. The deception was unbearable. You were passionate, and so you struck him. Once you understood your mistake, it was too late. You were afraid, so you staged the ritual. With such a story, you might be sentenced to a few years. It might clean your conscience, and soon the case will be forgotten.
No. No.
This is my decision. I'll talk to Constable Oswald to see what I can do.
Ah ouais, donc en fait c'est la suite de enquête policière. Bon, ça sert à rien d'accuser les autres, le mec il est coupable. Coupable.
There's no fool like an old fool. Kurt Manchios did it. A young boy played with the heart of an old man. The latter couldn't handle it. The evidence I obtained clearly shows that the quarrel was not intended to end badly. It was an accident.
Showing pity towards your own kind, Holmes. Whatever.
All I'm saying is that prison won't take much away from an old and crushed man.
Fine. A big name like that will still give me a promotion. As for my part, not everything was in place. Perhaps some documents were transferred somewhere else, but I couldn't find a trace of them. Then I remembered. The discarded document drawers where we put the lost papers or the badly labelled ones. Including the crime scene report of Violet Holmes's case. Everything I've found is on the desk here. Take it.
Your persistence has saved me.
Yeah, well, we had a deal after all. Your friend is free then, you can leave.
Good luck, Constable.
Merde! Ah, j'aurais bien voulu choisir en fait la sentence de d'autres connards là. Bon, tant pis, c'est pas grave. Bon! Ah, dommage. Bon, tant pis. Ah, attends, si je vais acheter le journal, est-ce que...
Oh, you did it, Sherlock! The case is closed and all rewards belong to the winner. Bravo!
It is merely the triumph of the truth.
Is it? No compromises? No lies? You're happy with your decisions?
Acceptable.
It was the best decision I could obtain. The truth must be told in the way it is most acceptable.
You're making progress, Sherlock. I was right to believe in you. By the way, did you get that precious information about your mother? Oh, not that you must.
Yes, I did.
Forgive my intrusion in such a personal matter. I simply worry I'm failing to be of much help to you.
Actually, you were. For some reason, all the archives on the case had disappeared. This was a rare opportunity to obtain the impossible.
Outrageous. Perhaps someone found the truth unpleasant. Society usually rejects those who speak with too much honesty, doesn't it?
A comfortable lie is often preferred to an uncomfortable truth. Still, I believe that the latter should prevail, and I cannot remain silent.
That's quixotism at its best. Your mere truth cannot defeat institutions, systems, and power. Etiquette, religion, marriage, they're all lies told to preserve connections, love, and sanity, and it's all corruptible.
Lies destroy human dignity. How could you make a free decision without any knowledge of the truth?
Are we really free to decide anything in this world, Sherlock?
Oh yes. It's a struggle, but yes, we can make our own decisions. That's what I fight for.
What an endless fight it is. Will you ever give yourself a break, Sherlock? You're a walking contradiction, Sherlock. You refuse to lie to others, but constantly lie to yourself. How long until the train comes off the track? I cannot look away, but perhaps I should take a few steps back. You're an accident waiting to happen, dear. Until then, I shall bid you adieu.
Adieu. Oh là là, drama queen pour aucune raison. Ah, comment avez-vous su que c'était lui? Pas sûr, mais comme j'avais dit, le crépuscule de sa vie, si je me suis trompé, ça durera pas longtemps. Exactement. Bon, ah, franchement, c'était... Pour le moment, c'était la meilleure enquête. Hein. Enfin, entre celle-là et l'éléphant, je sais pas c'était quoi la meilleure enquête, mais... Hop là. Franchement, et puis c'était plutôt bien foutu. C'était comme un huis clos en fait. Il y avait juste 2 pièces. Ça n'avait pas à aller d'un endroit à un autre et tout à baldinguer. Donc ça j'ai bien aimé. Du coup, moi je vais m'arrêter là. Je pense que le jeu, il me reste pas beaucoup de choses à faire. Donc, enfin, l'histoire principale en tout cas. Donc on le finira dimanche soir tranquille. Et puis voilà. Entre temps, je pense que hors stream, je vais faire peut-être soit des affaires ou des récits de Cordona vite fait pour me faire de l'argent et si je peux acheter en fait tout le mobilier que je peux pour décorer la maison le plus possible. Et puis voilà. Bon bah en tout cas j'espère que ça vous a plu. Moi franchement j'ai bien aimé là. Franchement la première affaire là que j'ai terminée, c'est un peu long. Donc j'avais qu'une hâte, c'est que ça se termine, même si elle a été intéressante. Mais celle-là, la dernière enquête était vraiment cool. Puis bah une pensée pour Fabio. Trop beau pour mourir, trop jeune pour mourir. Allez, moi du coup bah, je vous dis à dimanche soir pour, je pense, la fin de Sherlock Holmes. Et puis voilà. Mais je vous souhaite une bonne soirée. Et puis voilà, tout simplement. Allez, des bisous, salut.